Why is your hair like that?
Because it needs a haircut.
Are you actually going to buzz it off again?
No. I'm
Are you
actually
growing? You're going to
grow
grow it
the
out?
top out.
Bless. I'm so happy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 41. Guess who's back on? You've already seen in the title. It's Joel
Fuck Russ Part 2.
Bond. I was going to rhyme that, but never mind. We have our good buddy Joel Bond back on. God, I love that fucking name. It sounds so cool. Just a kind of bullshitting episode.
No, fuck yeah, dude.
It's great. It's cool to just kind of like catch up, shoot the shit, have a lot of very strong opinions on different topics.
If you want an extremist, you came to the right fucking episode.
And Joel actually talks a lot more in this one, which we're really happy about. He kind of took the
initiative on this one.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's all we gotta say.
That's it. I'm fucking tired.
Go listen to the episode.
As we start. You know what? I'm not even... No.
Now.
Don't you dare. I'm so glad we finally fucked that up. We're just going to start the episode now. Yes! Welcome to the
Nick and Tub
podcast. That was good.
Yep.
Again, I'm always fucking stoked on it.
I want that fucking dumb podcast. I like it.
It's fucking good shit. That was so good.
Dude, this is the best fucking thing we've ever done.
All right. 1, 2, 3. That was rough.
That was shitty. That was my fault.
I think if you really took time to write, Joel, I think you could write some pretty hard bars, but I think if you were to just kind of spitball it, I think a lot of trash would come out because you what was the bar you just said? I haven't lied since I was what?
I haven't lied since I was lying in the crib. Oh, okay. Originally, I said I haven't lied since 96, but I was born in 97, so that means that I haven't lied since I was born. But then Caleb said I haven't lied since I was lying in the crib, meaning that I haven't lied since I was in the crib as I was a baby, as I was little. Essentially meaning that I've never lied.
No, I get it. I didn't hear the lying in the crib part.
What did you hear?
I thought you guys just said since I was in the crib. I was like, that literally doesn't make any sense.
Oh shit! No,
like, that makes no sense. I mean, no. Granted, now it makes more sense, but it's still not.
That's hard as fuck.
It's not hard.
That's hard as
In the Blueface comment, I'll let it slide. He's your favorite artist. Blueface is your favorite artist.
No.
Whoever your favorite artist is, they have Blueface songs saved in their Spotify.
Especially after I didn't hear the song. I need to actually hear it. But there's a song that he featured on where he says something about fucking fettuccine and he rhymes it with Boppolini or something like that.
Sounds like a bar to me.
No, you get the fuck out of my face with that. It's that song. What is it? A YG song? It's Bop or something like that. I think it just came out. Let me look this up just to make sure. Pretty sure
it could be.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But I was like, nah. Wait. Yeah. It's Tyga, YG, and Blueface.
Okay.
And it's a song called Bop. And he says something about fettuccine. I haven't heard it. It was on Jake, Manny, and Brandon's podcast.
Okay.
And
they have good taste in music.
I think he calls her...
He calls her a
No,
Boppolini.
they were calling it trash. And he calls her a Boppolini.
They're wrong, but it's okay. You're wrong.
You're
it's okay.
wrong.
Who's wrong?
You. You can have an opinion, but you're wrong.
What? We speak facts over here, Nick, on this side.
Joel, you also said that, and I'll never let this go, even though I know it's a joke, but big shit like a dinosaur did it.
That's the hardest.
That is the weakest.
Oh, what?
That is the weakest.
Oh my god. I really don't know what to say at this point. Like,
are you ever gonna rap, Joel?
Yeah, because Caleb's probably gonna make me.
Probably.
Yeah.
You really have nothing to say.
Oh, I'm watching right now. I'll hop in.
Ladies and gentlemen who listen to this podcast, 2 Chainz said big shit like a dinosaur did it. Now I want everybody to think about how big dinosaurs were. You have to really think about the digestive tract of a dinosaur, okay? Even if it's a vegetarian eating plants, they still have to shit, okay? And if anything, they're having more regular bowel movements because they're vegetarians and they're eating plants. All right. Now, think of a fucking T-Rex. You know how big a T-Rex is, Nick?
I'm just staring at Joel.
Do you have any idea how big the shit of a T-Rex is, Nick?
Do you? Have you?
It's at least the size of the bed, if not bigger. The size of your car, if not bigger.
Are you?
Could you imagine walking outside and an animal leaves a shit pile the size of your Volkswagen Jetta?
Can you confirm, yes or no, that the shit is that big?
I have to use. I'm gonna go ahead and use my best judgment. Okay, I've seen scale sizes of dinosaur bones.
Now let's get real graphic. Who says that a T-Rex asshole isn't the size of a quarter and that it just little turds would come out?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Nope.
Inefficient.
Absolutely not.
Who says?
It's gonna just do that all day then.
Yeah.
It'll probably walk around dripping. Like
this is so fucking nasty. The fuck are we talking about?
You bought this one yourself. You're the one that bought the lyric. I just have to explain to the people that when 2 Chainz said
we walk around dripping.
big shit like a dinosaur did it, that means that he's so enormous that it's as if a dinosaur just took a shit. And I don't know why you don't like that bar. If you did something that was so immaculate.
more of a bar that you could probably come up with about the T-Rex just dripping all day.
Doubt it. You said me personally?
No, I'm saying anybody.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
What the fuck are we talking about, dude?
You want to know what else 2 Chainz said?
Shit.
2 Chainz also said, I'm sorry, give me a second. I have to make sure I get this lyric right.
Do you know what 2 Chainz said?
I know a couple of things 2 Chainz said. He said, might buy a bowling alley. I get money out the gutter. Take your time. Take your time. I know. Trust me. I did the exact same thing when I heard it, Nick.
Well, thank you everybody for joining in for episode 41 of the Nick and Tub podcast.
The record 5 minutes.
Shortest episode to date because I got kicked off for being a fucking idiot.
Yeah, we sat down with Joel and he quoted 2 Chainz for 2 hours. This episode is featuring Joel featuring Titty Boy.
Whistling Dixie, middle school, I was getting head on a 10-speed. Gigolo bloodline, pipping hereditary. Black on 28s, it remind me of February. Yeah, you could fuck with me, that would be Nebuary. Dead ass rapper should have came in the cemetery. I am so cold, like Ben and Jerry's. And then he says the N-word like 5 times. I can say it on here because I know there's a lot of white people listening to this podcast. We'll probably say the N-word anyway, but I'm not going to get into that.
What?
That sounds like a good topic.
Good topic. White people saying the N-word. Now we're going to start the actual podcast. This is a tricky one because
Please give your take on it. Your hot take.
I think if they're like, and oh man,
Just to clarify for anybody that hasn't listened to the other episode with Joel is a young black man. So
Cap.
Huh?
I think we could have told by now.
Who?
If Joel's black just by audio.
That's not necessarily true.
Do I sound? You want me to talk like this instead of talking the way I was talking before?
No, but I mean, you can go to the South and find people of all different fucking races that sound just like Joel does. That's
Joel sounds like he's from the South.
No,
he's saying if you go to like a different area. If you let's say you like put somebody behind a curtain, you couldn't see them. One could be black, one could be Filipino. They could probably still talk. Lauren's dad. Remember when the first time you heard Lauren's dad talk?
I don't remember how Lauren's dad talked.
He has a southern accent and he's half Korean, and it threw me the fuck
See,
off.
that is exactly my fucking point.
She got in the car and he was like, "All right, you guys be safe now." I was like, "What the fuck?"
You ever heard Steve Aoki talk?
No.
Yeah.
I
Just
haven't.
like Americans, like as if. Well, he was born. Wait, was he born in America? I don't know. As American as can be.
Or Andrew Yang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
perfect.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So, go ahead, Joel.
Okay.
Give your hot take.
I mean, people say it like it's just one of those things that people do.
We were talking about ending with an A, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm making absolute sure.
I didn't know. We're not talking about the
Everybody,
hard R.
well, right, but you say the N word, you have to clarify what you're talking about. Like,
okay, the
true.
N word as in nigga.
You can say it.
Well, I don't
You're
know.
chilling.
Are we gonna get demonetized?
Demonetized? That would mean we make money.
That would actually mean that we have an income.
Surprise! Nick and Caleb make $55K a month off the podcast.
$55K a month
Each.
Fucking great.
Each.
God, that's
No, I'm just kidding. We would have had Teslas by now.
we.
Yes, we.
Well, that's 1 month's worth is getting Joel a Tesla.
Tesla
He's like I hit 4 episodes. You owe me a Tesla.
Nick's like, that'll be February.
Oh no.
Also, you're allowed to laugh in the mic.
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of hate my laugh. If I'm
that's
being-
cool.
I'm being real with you. I don't want.
You know how many people loved your episode? And you didn't even speak, but people literally tuned in just to listen to you speak. You could probably start your own podcast where you just talk about the fucking weather and about your day, what
And
you
about
had for
2 Chainz.
breakfast.
or about 2 Chainz.
Maybe not that. And then just the weather.
That's one
your
less follower I
breakfast,
have.
your style. You could literally talk about what's going on next week. People would listen. 100% people would listen.
Thank you. Shout out to all the people. Shout out to all the fans, all the homies, all the all the support. Shout out to you guys. I fucks with y'all. All right, but this is the N-word dilemma, however you say it. When we were the last time we were in Vegas, we were at that pool party.
Yeah.
And there's rap music playing, and Caleb knew like, all right, don't say it, because we were hanging around like.
Oh no, I'd be chilling like it goes to
Yeah, we were hanging around
line.
a large crowd of African Americans at this pool party. Okay, and I looked at Dylan and I said, "Hey, Dylan, if you're rap, because Dylan gets really into the music he listens to, and he gets really passionate. He'll scream the lyrics. It's great." I was like, "Hey, don't say the N-word, because if someone else hears you and they say something to you, I'm probably gonna punch you in the mouth just to make it look like that." I was like, if you get caught saying nigga and they're like, what the fuck, don't say that, don't look at me because I won't help you. I told him that. Dalton has it, Caleb knows it, they're with the program. Dylan didn't listen. Now granted, nobody like said anything, thank the universe, no one said anything, but I caught him slipping. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, shut up, please.
I really don't want to break
I was like, Dylan, please,
bro. When
like,
Chuck West came on,
oh my goodness.
it's a good time.
Yeah, but me personally, it's like, say it. You know, like people get really weird about it, and it's like
Joel eats that shit up when people get weird about it.
it's like seeing how awkward and uncomfortable you are just hearing it. And it's like, some people I understand, it's like you genuinely like the word, that's fine. But then there are other people who in reality are indifferent about it, but they're just trying to, some people want to be respectful, that's understandable. And there are some people like, oh man, like I really want to say it. Say it. Like there is like a fear of saying it out of, you might get shot in the head. No one's gonna shoot you in the head. No one's gonna arrest you. You're not gonna go to jail for saying it. Now, if you don't say it out of respect for whatever your reason is, great. If the word genuinely makes you uncomfortable, you don't say it, great. Go ahead. But if you just don't say it out of the fear of, oh man, like, am I gonna get in trouble? No. You say it, and then what? Like, and most of the time, the only time where people actually get upset is on the internet. And at that point, you're on the internet. What's really gonna happen to you? Like, now, unless somebody's a hacker and they like dox your shit, and now they got your address and social security number, probably don't say it. At that point, probably shouldn't be saying it, Derek. Chad, right. Tad.
So why do you think your opinion is different? Or do you think your opinion is different than like the majority?
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I've in person, like in like public areas, concerts, a grocery store, my own family, they get mad when people who aren't black say the N-word.
And why don't you have the same opinion?
I don't take me personally, I don't take as much offense to the word as I can imagine other people do. A lot of people, I mean, there is a stigma behind the word, but I've used the shit so much, I've been around it so much that it's just like, it's literally another word that's in my vocabulary, that's in everybody else's vocabulary. But some people can't separate the harshness or the rhetoric behind it as to as I have. Like when I say what's up, my nigga, like that's what's up, friend, companion, pal, chum, buddy,
dude.
Oh, I say dude a lot. That's my shit.
That's California.
That's hey, shout out to the West Coast. That's just a California in me.
Yeah.
And my avocado toast. Avocados and dude. Can't get more California than that.
I guess I don't know. I don't see the point in saying it. It's
Yeah, see-
just literally there's so many other words to use. Like why?
But
Why
that
you-
one's also an option.
Yeah, people say it because frankly how popular it is in pop culture.
Yeah.
That's why it's said all the time.
I mean,
And
literally, it's there is one thing I do want to bring up that has to do with it, which I thought is just super fucked up to do to somebody, but it's in music. It's literally like you said in pop culture.
It's in everybody's
it's-
favorite song.
it's literally like go to the Billboard top 10 songs and how many of those songs you think are saying it.
I don't know one black artist, even artists that aren't black, that some of them, not all of them, I'm saying some artists that aren't black that put it in their songs.
Wait, what?
Like I'm saying, I don't know one black artist that doesn't put it in their song.
Oh,
And then I was saying that not like non-black artists, like some of them.
yeah,
you
6ix9ine, Nav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, fuck Nav. What is he? Pakistani?
I don't know.
He's a fucking loser. That's the period point blank of it.
Why?
Nav got upset that TMZ didn't follow him around.
Okay.
Loser activity.
Yeah,
Nav,
that's some poser shit.
Nav would whatever little money he had before he got famous would spend it on designer shit, and then would cry when bitches would hit him up. Loser activity.
pretty
He would buy
fucking-
just go and buy the most outlandish shit, and then just walk somewhere just to get bitches. Loser activity.
Yeah, that's
And he's
fucking
fat.
weird. That's an addition. Your face did not change.
So it's really fuck Nav. Like when people say fuck Russ, that was like kind of a joke, but then became serious. Is the only time I can't say fuck Nav is when I first heard him on Travis Scott's Birds in the Trap album.
I can't say fuck Nav with this song with The Weeknd. I love that song.
Which one? Oh, I think you showed it to me.
I'm trying to remember. I'm gonna pull it up.
Now, as far as his music goes, he makes catchy music. The song "Tap" with him and Meek Mill, that's a catchy song. But just Nav as a person, whatever his 14-syllable Pakistani name is,
Price on my head.
fuck that guy. Nav the rapper, kind of solid, kind of okay.
See, like Nav's a good example of
How not to be as a human being.
well, no, Nav's a good example of like actual like culture vulture. Like actual culture vulture. Like people complain about cultural appropriation over literally anything they can, like any small
No one's ever pressed
thing.
Nav, and why not?
But like Nav acts like he isn't. You can see it. You can see how disingenuous he is with his like energy he has on stage and in like videos of him and in the lyrics he writes. Like I always tell people, like Nav is not putting out hits on
Tap.
people.
Tap, 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 tap. Really?
You are not.
Come on.
You are not killing anybody.
What?
He walks around with a bowl cut.
What?
You're not killing
Are
anybody.
you serious? Probably on a 7-Eleven. Come on, bro. Don't play with me. Shout out to 7-Eleven. They got the Slurpees is legendary.
I have to look him up. I don't even know.
Bro, he's like 5'6", Pakistani. He has a bowl cut. He's fat. I don't.
Oh, him.
Yes.
Yeah, in all of his songs, he's talking about like
Shooting people,
like,
robbing people.
he's like yeah, like you come at me and I'll get you whacked.
he
Like
probably has a trust fund.
he talks about how he like sells drugs and has threesomes, and I'm like,
Why
no,
does
the
he
fuck you
look
don't.
like he could be DJ Khaled's late cousin?
Literally, he looks
Bro,
like
that's Assad in 15 years.
yeah,
That's going to be Assad Khaled in 15 years.
like
I think Assad's gonna be probably a better person than that.
oh, I hope
you know
so.
how like you get like a thing of like chicken nuggets, and sometimes you get like that piece of chicken nugget that's like just all breading and it's deep fried and it's burnt.
Nav.
DJ Khaled is a chicken nugget.
Nav
That
is just a
other
breading.
piece is Nav. I think both episodes you've come on so far within the first like 20 minutes you've said fuck Russ.
Oh, have I? Oh, shit.
I think with both of them you're just like yeah, and then just fuck Russ.
If we ever did some reason change up our format of like naming the episodes, it would be your episode would be Fuck Russ and the other one would be Fuck Russ Part 2.
Oh, look, Joel's back on.
We wouldn't even put the guests at some point with you. We would just put Fuck Russ Part 34.
It's
And
like,
they'd be
oh, Joel's back on the
it's
podcast
Joel
again.
One of the things that bothered me with the whole like it being in pop culture, it being in music was there was a concert. I don't remember who it was. I wanna say it was DNA. Can't think of his fucking name right now.
Was it a rapper that told everybody?
Kendrick Lamar?
Thank you. Literally couldn't think of the name.
Okay.
I think.
DNA's name of the song.
Yeah.
I was like, is that the name of the
No,
fucking
no.
artist? I was like, I've never heard of it.
I was gonna start naming songs.
Okay, for sure.
So I think it was him. Whatever.
Yeah.
Point being is that they brought up a white kid on stage.
Oh, wasn't they did Mad City? And the
then,
kid like ripped it.
And then when it got to dropping the N-word in the song, the kid said it and they cut the song. And they're like, yo, you can't be saying that. It's literally
That's a setup.
That's a setup.
If the kid doesn't know better,
They're trying to get him beat up after the
That's a
concert.
setup.
The
Like, everybody's
whole
to get this
fucking
kid beat
the
up.
whole crowd started booing this kid and was just like, fuck you. And it was like, you
invited
called
him on
up.
stage.
That's fucked up to do.
Yeah.
Like, he's a fan.
Now-
he knows every word, literally every word of your song, and you're gonna get mad at him when he repeats the song.
Unless you whisper in his ear, hey, don't
Like,
say
don't-
the
don't
yeah,
say it.
at least
Like-
prep the dude. Like, hey,
Don't say
there's the N-word
N-word
in this
Yeah.
for your own stuff.
What if he was just like, why not?
and that's
He was like, wait,
where
are you serious? He walks off stage. Have you seen the memes? I think it happened with Young Thug twice. They're like, oh, like this kid loves Young Thug. He knows every word. And people quote it, they go, every word? You know?
See, and that's what I'm talking about. Is
It's like, bro, that kid's like 10.
You get in
yes, he
trouble.
knows every word.
you get in trouble for liking the fucking music you like.
Yeah, like if like imagine if if Peter Quill, Star-Lord, instead of gone the 80s mix,
man,
he got
was
the
2010s.
he got the 2010s
Oh,
rap
Jesus.
music, and he comes back to Earth not knowing any better.
Right.
Yeah,
He doesn't know any of the culture, any of like the thing behind it, and he just knows all the words to his music. Right?
Yeah.
You get fucked up.
That's funny as hell.
It's just fucked up
I've
to
seen
the
it as
people.
bad as on Twitter. I would see quote tweets of like saying that if you're not black, don't like or retweet tweets that have the N word
Oh,
in it.
Jesus
Yeah, I saw that
fucking
And it's
Christ.
like, huh? Are you?
clickety,
What?
clickety, click, close app, go about my normal life. Like,
Serious?
fuck out of here,
Like,
dude.
if it's a funny tweet, let them. Huh? What? I don't get. It's like, and that's the part that like I'm really. I think it's the extremes of it because it's like you don't. They literally just like the tweet. They're not going out of their way to go. It says the N word. Like
I
no,
know.
like
you know, they think white people go to the search bar, type in the N-word, and then just go like, oh
no,
tweets.
it's like it's the rest of the tweet, and you happen to say if you substituted the N word for dude or whatever, it would probably still blow up. It would still be funny.
Mhm.
That's but it's like if you're not black, don't like or retweet tweets with the N word in it. Kiss my ass. Go get a job.
Go get a job.
This is bored fucking people.
Go get a job.
Bored people with nothing better to do but complain about.
And go
the
drink
little-
some water.
the little things that they can complain about.
So, I think you can still grant credit to the opposing opinion of not allowing anyone other than black people to say it.
Can you
In a sense.
rephrase that for me, please?
Like
Yeah.
you can get where they're coming from.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, because it's like I don't want to go about this acting like I don't want it to come off like we're like it's so audacious for anyone to think other than
it's
this.
not. It's just I think when you get to like the extremes, okay, like you sound ridiculous, but just like I said, if some people really just don't fuck with it, then like Amine at one of his concerts, he changed the lyric to say and don't say the N word if you're not black,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, like go ahead, Amine, you. Whatever the consequence is, the consequence, but that's how you feel about it, then by all means,
No, I
feel
think
that way.
I think it's just like with everything in life, it's best to play like the 50-50 part of like, yes, you don't need to say it, but you also don't need to fucking overreact.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
yeah, definitely. But I
Yeah.
for sure do see where like a lot of people come from with
Yeah,
it.
like and there'll be instances where I'm around people who aren't black and do say it, but you can tell the difference between people who say it when like they're quoting a song or they're quoting a joke or what have you, or the people who just like put that word
They say
like
it to
sentence enhancers on fucking everything they say. Like you can go to Mountain High and run into some Asian people who love that word.
Man, we went snowboarding, and this Asian kid
Said it more than Joel does.
his name was name's probably Kevin. Okay, hi Kevin. Say goodnight, Kevin. Okay,
Quickly drop his address, his email.
Oh, I don't
phone
know.
number,
Work,
social
work.
He
security.
probably went to like UC Riverside or something. I don't know. He was just
It's
yelling
almost like
it.
you knew.
He was wearing like a Kobe Bryant jersey and just yelling the N-word. And I was like, is this dude serious? Like, go take another run, bro. Like, go down the mountain. Like, what are you doing? Just yelling it. I was like, this guy's crazy.
Here's an interesting question then. Never mind. The question has to do with if a white kid is adopted from basically fucking birth into a black family.
He can say it.
Why?
That's all he knows.
That's my point. Is like there are some people that I mean you're raised around it.
Yeah,
you
that's
have
all you
like
know.
the majority
Yeah,
of
I
your.
mean,
if
that
I
comes
was-
down to the principle of is it purely based off skin color or is it based off culture?
Right.
And if you're like,
If I was born in like Vermont and all I knew was green bean casserole, I probably wouldn't say the N-word. I would have nobody to say it with. I was eating green bean casserole.
yeah, there's probably some high class Connecticut black people that never say that word,
Yeah.
and very well could
Yeah.
because of the culture that surrounds it, but don't.
But again, like you said, that is it family or is it culture? Because if it's,
No, I'm talking about what society's values are. Society does not care. You could be like the whitest acting person ever and black, and you can say it, and you could be like some ginger who grew up in like the slums of Chicago, and that's all you know, and people would still get pissed at you for saying it.
That white kid that says, all right, I'm going to fuck with you, he can say it. 100%. No one presses that kid.
That old man in the high school.
The
that
old
throws up
man
the
that was throwing up gang signs in the
Oh.
high school, he can say it for sure.
one thing that does bother me, and it's been bothering me for years, is the whole like white person acting black, black person acting white. It's like, what is that?
Well,
What?
it's when someone says that, it's acting stereotypically white. Like there's a
Correct.
stereotype for each group.
But that's
and
what I'm
then-
saying
yeah.
is like it's such a shitty stereotype, especially
yeah.
when you get down to like the racist people that are I'm talking about like racist white people that are just like you're acting black because you, and then they start listing like all the bad things that human beings can do, and it's like you consider that a color? Like no, that's just a shitty fucking
Oh
person.
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I'm talking about stuff like that, like because whenever I hear somebody say like someone that's black that's acting white, it's like what does acting white mean? Like,
Yeah.
what do you consider acting white, and why
No.
is that the stereotype versus?
Joel and I got in a debate about this with one of our friends, with Alfred. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Because Alfred was trying to come at Joel. He's like, "Oh no, you act white all the
I,
time," and
the
he's like, "Define it."
at my new job. Oh, yeah. By the way, I remember last time talking about my old job.
Oh yeah,
I don't work at Sun Machine no more. I work for Snow Orthodontics,
Yes, you
located
do.
in Palmdale,
you
California.
look fucking fly
Thank
in your
you.
Oh,
outfit.
literally every day.
I wear nice dress clothes to work. I wear
This man
slacks and polos,
fitted,
and
not like
skinny ties.
yeah,
I wear
skinny
Chelsea
ties,
boots to work.
fitted shirts, fitted
Yeah.
shoes, fitted fucking
So
pants.
I work at the mall at my kiosk, and the kiosk next to me is there's three next to me. The guy who owns it, he's an Asian guy, and he always tells me, "Joe, you act white," and I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "That's
What
the way
is
you
that?
talk." I'm like,
because I'm
like,
proper.
I was like, I sound like you, and he goes, "Yeah." I was like, "You're not white, you're Asian," and he was like, "You're white." And so
That's not an argument.
so-
That's-
well, part of it, he's joking. The other part is a little bit serious in there.
Yeah.
But he jokes about it so much that whenever he has black customers that come up, if I'm at my kiosk, he goes, "That's Joel. He looks black, but he's actually white on the inside." And I'll just go like this, and I'll flip him off.
that's just so
You-
fucking
what's his name?
weird.
Or did you say it?
I didn't say
Oh,
it.
you'd be like, "This is blank. He looks Asian, but he's actually racist." on the inside."
Like that, I don't know, dude. That shit
Well,
bothers
I mean,
me.
for the most part, he's cool, but it's just like when he makes like those little snarky remarks. I'm like, can you not do that? Like, one,
no,
I'm at work.
No, he thinks you act white because he hasn't seen you around black people.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, I look
If you're
at
not
him,
working for Dr. Snow and your nice get up and you
and
get
I was
around
like,
the homies.
I was like, blank. how do you want me to act? I'm at work. I'm at my place of business. This is my job. This is my office. Like, I can't act like that here. And then
and that depends on what you think that is.
yeah.
Right.
But I know exactly what
he's
yeah. But
yeah.
he mainly was talking about the way I pronunciate words and the vocabulary I use and everything like that. And I'm like, all right, like, I guess if that's really how you feel about it, then get it how you live. And then I
don't know.
Yeah.
It just bothers the fuck out of me. That's all. It's such a stupid fucking way of looking at things.
I've heard that my whole life though. Even my family says it.
Yeah, but it's something that should die off because it's something that's literally been around for fucking ever.
Yeah, I don't think people. What's that black dude that works for ABC7? His name is Mark. I want to say Johnson. I'm gonna call him Mark Johnson.
Okay.
He has a mustache. He kind of looks like Steve Harvey if Steve Harvey wasn't Steve Harvey. If that makes sense.
Is he bald?
No, he has like the Steve Harvey haircut. Oh, the old
Mark
Steve
Brown?
Harvey haircut.
I was
Mark
gonna say-
Brown. That's who it is. I said Mark Johnson. It was Mark Brown.
Mark Brown.
Did you get what I was saying though? How he could be like a knockoff version of Steve Harvey. Look at the mustache. No, you're not seeing it. Okay, it's just me. I bet people don't tell Mark Brown that he sounds white when he talks, and he worked for the news.
I bet you he fucking gets that all the time.
I don't think so. I think that he's so respected. He's such on like this high pedestal.
Well, he could be like that one anchorman or news reporter that was like, in the
Oh,
South, and he's like, like weather reports here. God damn it, I'm tired of this hick ass.
Maybe
That shit kills me, dude. Like, I love getting people who don't. I don't know if I brought this up or not. I probably have. I'm a broken record all the time. But I love getting people who don't have an or who have an accent or any type of dialect form that's not the standard American dialect or accent, and having them put on their best American accent. It is the greatest fucking thing ever. Getting like an English person who has a thick English accent to just talk like an American, and you don't hear them just switch accents. It's like they just like stopped pretending to be British and they were American the whole time.
Yeah, they always have it. Like we've talked about accents before. I can't do accents for shit, but they can always do an American accent, and it's a perfect California fucking surfing.
Well, heavy pop culture all the time.
Yeah.
So if we're on everyone's TVs and radios and earbuds, then
I mean, even
they can talk like us.
Even what is it? English. Anybody that has an accent when it comes to music,
Yeah,
they
when
all
sing,
lose.
it goes away.
They all lose it.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
There's a thing behind it. I really don't remember it at all, but I remember hearing about it.
Even like my supervisor, who is like a thick Guatemalan accent, I asked her to put on an American accent, and she can fucking do it.
It's like, do me a favor,
weird, dude.
talk like that every day. No,
It's so weird. It's funny,
Wait, are we talking about?
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't know she could do that.
dude. I know. I was
Especially
like,
because of the way she speaks.
oh no, she has.
I used to have her
she's-
repeat shit.
Yeah, no, you kind of have to sometimes.
Yeah.
But like, if she like really focuses, she can talk like a
That's
valley girl, and it's
So
funny
crazy.
because then
That
you're like, who are you?
Have you noticed that with both sexes, it goes either Valley Girl or California Dude?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Those are
because
the only two I've ever heard people switch up to.
It's because that is typically the accent used by the majority of like actors and news anchors and musicians, like in their songs and artists. Like if somebody speaks Southern, they say they have a Southern accent. They don't just say they sound like an American. If somebody speaks with like from New York or Boston, then they say they have that like East Coast accent. They don't just say like, oh, they sound American. But like the Californian accent is, I would argue, the normal American sound. It's just you can like exaggerate the Californian accent to then sound like the surfer dude. But like people from Arizona, I don't typically think have an accent. Same thing with like Oregon,
Nevada.
Washington, Nevada,
any place that's
Utah.
probably from as far as West Texas goes.
Yeah,
I would even
like
argue,
some parts of Texas. No,
yeah, I would think
accent.
I would even argue like, if you live in like the border parts of like, well, not like the border parts, but like just not in like the central middle of Texas. Like I feel like those people might have like a little like southern draw to them to a certain extent.
Kansas, they don't really. And then you hit Minnesota. And
Oh,
they have an
Minnesota!
accent for
Don't
some
you know?
reason.
That's because I think
Canada.
I really think that people from Minnesota like are actually Canadian, and every morning for
They
work.
really, dude, our fucking pilot today was straight out of Minnesota. Everything was curved up, like every
He put
like,
two dots above every letter.
Don't you know? Like,
Don't you know?
Make sure to buckle your seatbelt. Like it's.
You say you suck at accents, but you're good at that one.
I was hearing it the entire fucking flight, and I was laughing the entire time.
I'm convinced people from Minnesota are actually Canadians who get paid to be Minnesota.
That's actually really because when he was talking, I was like, "Why the fuck does he sound Canadian?"
fucking Nova
What's my
Scotia.
boss? And he was just like, "No, he's from Minnesota." I was like, "Oh my god, he's right."
He's such a goofy talker. You guys are like going down. He's like, Mayday, Mayday. You're laughing. You can't even care that you're dying.
Oh fuck,
Dude, Virginia. I was so out of place in Virginia. I'd walk by everybody. There was one guy that was just like, "Wow, these blankets are real nice." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, I am in the wrong." Dude, I'm talking dads with their 6 kids walking around shirtless with beers in their hands. Random dudes coming up to me,
Jonesy,
just
give
like,
me a fucking Bud Light.
we had,
Hey, look at the fucking coloring book. You must be from California.
we had the Paw Patrol thing that we were filming, and it was 2 of the mascots. And we had to try to get the mascot onto a golf cart because we had to escort them to the actual NASCAR track. And as we're trying to squeeze them in there, this drunk fucking older man comes up to me. I'm talking eyes are bloodshot. He's not there. And he's just like, is there an actual person in there? And I was like, wait, hold on. I looked at him, I said, excuse me. He's like, there's a man in there, right? And I was like, yeah, yes, sir.
Yes.
I was like, I'm not going to tell you it's a woman in there, but
I'll tell you what, buddy, it's a robot in there.
I should have started fucking with him. I was like,
You ever heard of animatronics there, son?
animatronic.
You ever heard of Boston Dynamics there, partner?
And dude, I
They're
swear
coming
to
for your
God,
job.
You ever heard that artificial intelligence there, buddy? Oh yeah, it's artificial. Man, it's intelligent.
Oh, it's smart, all right. You ever wonder why your local mall's closing down?
I wish it wasn't so like I probably would have thought about that right then and there to just start fucking with him because after that I know I bring him up a lot, but he turned into Boomenhauer because I literally had no idea what the fuck he was saying. If you don't know who Boomenauer is,
You know what I'm saying?
King of the Hills, you know what I'm saying? Like it's dude, this guy he started just riddling, like words were just flying out of his mouth and I couldn't pick up any of them.
Bro.
And then he tapped me on the shoulder. He went, yeah. And I was like, and I just nodded. I laughed. I said, yeah. And he walked away. He disappeared into the crowd, dude.
It's like, Sweet Tea Tractor Chattanooga. And he's like,
You probably owe that man like 6 beers, Nick. And you don't even know it. He probably asked you for like
no,
a
dude.
pint.
This man was fucking gone.
Can't we talk about this over a pint? No.
No.
No. All right. Fucking love Shrek.
Oh,
bro, we had some friends visit from Florida, and I spent the day with them yesterday, and they were talking about how they went. They had gone to Hollywood to like sightsee, and they were like, "Yeah, we saw the Walk of Fame. It was like super cool." And I was like, "Oh, dope." He's like, "Yeah, man, there's so many like stars on there. Some of them really off the path." And he's like, "I only took a picture of one though." I was like, whose star did you take a picture of? He's like, Shrek's. I was like, Shrek has a star?
actual
He's like, yeah, it looks really old. I was like, Ryan Reynolds barely got one like last year. How long has Shrek had a star?
Probably since the movie came out.
not what's his name? I can't remember his name. Who plays this?
It was Mike.
Mike. Yep, it's right there. Tyson. Yeah, it's
I
totally
wonder-
Mike Tyson. Mike.
I want to say Myers.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Mike Myers.
The-
Yeah,
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
him. I thought he would have it. I thought it wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Like, was it Mike?
probably has
like,
one.
Mike, yeah, he probably does. He has to.
He-
That's
he
Austin
lo-
Powers.
The
Yes.
disrespect.
He's a
That means
fucking
Austin
legend.
Powers must have one.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I wonder if characters just have them.
Yeah, I mean,
Google
If
Mushu
Shrek had
from
one.
Mulan. See if he has one.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, Eddie Murphy has one then because that was a fantastic character that Eddie Murphy played as Mushu.
So when I was on that NASCAR track, this is one thing I don't understand. Let me see if Mushu actually has one. Nope. I just looked and Mushu port came up and
Nice.
a picture of Mushu.
Very cool, Kanye.
All right. So the only reason I remember their names is because I just remember the reaction of the crowd. Now, keep in mind, the race hadn't started yet. We were just filming the intros of each racer coming out. And the fucking place was like half full, maybe like a third of the way full.
Well, there's still 40,000 people in there.
Oh, yeah, there's a shit ton of people.
NASCAR stadiums, if you guys don't know, 100K people.
Well, this was actually a shorter track, and it was still that big, so I can't even imagine what their actual track
Like
is.
the fucking Indy 500.
Yeah, like
That's the only one I
this.
know.
Yeah,
This was like a
I'll beat you to
mile.
it.
This was like a mile round, so it was a very small track. I mean, fucking cars would come. They're going so goddamn fast; they were back around in an instant. But as the racers were coming out, you'd get like the people that no one really knew, and they'd get like some claps, some cheers, some woos, and what the fuck is his name? Marshall
Mathers.
No.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, not Marshall.
Slim,
the fuck is his name?
Shady.
Something
Emma.
Osland? I don't fuck. Actually, I forgot his name. It was right on the tip of my tongue. So, one of the racers came out and he got this fucking loud cheer. Like, I'm talking just people losing their shit. And I was like, dope.
Titties being shown, beer getting thrown.
People just like, oh my
Bar
God, he's
again.
here. I like that. That's good. So then Kyle,
Write that down.
do you know who Kyle Busch is?
Yes, I know Kyle Busch is.
He came out and the fucking place, I'm talking, came
Shook.
this deep roar of boos. And I was like, whoa.
People don't fuck with Kyle
Oh, they
Busch.
fuck, dude. When he got announced,
Busch.
I heard the boos, and when he came walking down, again, I'm like in the center of all of it. There's this dude, he's like, fuck you, Kyle. And I was like, what is going
It's
on?
one thing to be like, fuck you, Bush, but when someone uses your first name and you're a professional,
Is he number 18?
Huh?
Is he number 18?
I think so.
Okay.
I'm
So-
a fan.
Hold on. Let me just look this up. But what's even crazier is his brother was racing yesterday as well in the same race as him. And he came out, there was a couple like woos, but nothing.
Trevor Bush, yeah.
But when it was like, Kyle, you heard, and then just Bush, it was just this fucking, I'm talking deep. Like, I turned around, like, what the fuck was that noise?
Nick's fight or flight kicked in.
And, oh, yeah. So he's number 18.
Damn, Joel.
Yes, sir.
I want to bring up the name of the dude that,
Jay Bond and the
Chase
J is
Elliott.
for Jeopardy.
His name was Chase. Okay. So Chase Elliott,
Okay.
he is now 7 in the leaderboard and Kyle Busch is 3. And I'm just
Ooh.
assuming there's probably, beef.
A rivalry.
Yes. And what I'm getting at is I do not understand. Okay. A boo is fine. Like, they beat the person that you like, whatever. That's, you're not a fan of the team. Okay. But when you start going for people's throats, or like, I fucking, you have the crazy fans where they hope
Yeah.
that the whole family of the other team gets
Dies.
cancer.
Yeah.
And like, I do-
That's NBA Twitter.
I do not understand that shit. When what's his name went to the Lakers,
LeBron,
and he left,
Cleveland.
people were lighting their fucking jerseys on fire.
Yeah.
They're rioting in the streets. They're talking about killing his family. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you're out of your fucking mind. You are absolutely out of your, like, I don't understand it. I don't. Like, is there nothing? I don't even know. Like,
Look, I can't attest to how toxic the NASCAR community is because half of them are probably drunk most of the time anyway.
and they want to kill people.
But that is it's normal. It shouldn't be, but people get
It's because people just see them as characters on their TV screens.
yeah. They don't see them as like actual people. Like LeBron James. First and foremost, LeBron James is probably. You guys see that Blaze Pizza commercial? He walked up to this kid. Like, what's up, buddy? Kid was on his phone and walked right past him.
Mm-mm.
Oh, it was fucking hilarious. Because LeBron James owns, he's a part owner of Blaze Pizza.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's doing a promotion, I think, to introduce like their new large pizza, which is
Yeah.
there's only a few cents more than the personal size pizza that you get. So if you're feeling hungry, it's like 4 of you guys, you want to split a pizza.
It's that big?
Yes.
Today's episode is brought to you by
LeBron
Blaze
James.
Pizza. And,
LeBron James.
Wait. LeBron James. LeBron
Oh
James.
my God, bro.
But LeBron is easily one of the most recognizable people on the planet.
Yeah.
First of all, he's 6'8", 250 pounds.
Hard to miss him.
Can't miss him. And it's LeBron fucking James, like
Yeah.
the fucking legend. Like,
Yeah.
but like it's like one of his houses. It was one of them that's in LA somewhere. I don't know exact neighborhood it's in, but someone spray painted the N-word, the hard R, on like the front gate. It's like an all white
Jesus,
house.
man.
They use black spray can. I think a black person did that. To be quite frank with you.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Black people know
Yep.
the potency behind that word and are not afraid to use it on their own.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It's like a joke on Twitter. Like, and some of those tweets are funny.
It's a joke to some of them, and then other ones.
And some of it, like, it'll be like random as hell. It could be, what was the one of like, I think it was like a brownie or something. I don't remember. It could be like the most random tweet, and someone will quote it and go, "Shut up, N-word with hard R." Because I'm not saying it on here. I'm not gonna say that one. I'm not gonna drop it.
No.
But it's like that wasn't funny. Okay, like that wasn't funny. But someone like spray painted it, and then like he was going like this big spiel like about it, and I was like, bro, like you live around a bunch of white people, and they know who you are. White people fucking love LeBron James. Like white people love like huge black celebrities.
Yeah. Like nobody.
None of your neighbors did that. Like that was a black person. Like somebody followed you home. It was like either that or when his kids did it. Bronny, we're on to you, bro.
The outlandish fucking tweets that you can find sometimes where like, you know, those tweets that you're not actually laughing at what they said, you're laughing at like
the fact
that
they
they
said
said it.
like holy shit, dude,
Yeah.
that's insane. Where there was like this black dude that just told someone to shut, and he was like shut up, and then dropped the hard R, and I was like, what the fuck is going on,
Now,
dude?
the only time I can say that like a majority of people laugh was when this black guy tweeted, "Oh man, like racism is like finally over," and this white guy said, "He said no, it's not," and he dropped the hard R, and everybody was just like, "Fuck, that's fucking funny."
It's so fucking uncomfortable.
That shit
man.
was funny
Because
that
it's one
shit's
of those
fucking
things where it's
hilarious.
like you don't want to laugh, but god damn, is that outlandish as
No,
shit?
you have to be able to fucking recognize that's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't think that guy was serious.
yeah, exactly.
He was joking.
and so like.
So crazy.
See, like it's funny, like that shit. It totally depends on context. Because if you're talking about people using that word in a tweet, people are like, oh, I don't know, like checking their shoulders, like I don't really want to laugh at that. But like in their bed, they're cackling, right?
for
But
sure.
everybody loves to say they love like the Dave Chappelle skits and shit, and he loves using that word.
Oh.
And so like it's not a
Did
big
you
deal
watch
when
it?
it's in comedy.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah, he brought up it was funny as shit. But
I know what you're gonna be talking about.
he was like, "Why can't I say?"
Yes.
Yeah, he was like, "Why can't I say that?" She goes, "Well, you're not gay." And he
He
goes,
said,
"Yeah, well, I'm not the N word either." Like,
dude,
like,
one of
hey,
the most
talk your
solid
shit.
fucking points.
Talk your shit, Dave. Like, you're not.
Talk your shit, Dave.
You damn right you're not.
When he dropped, it's one of those words where, like, to me, I'm just not gonna say it, but it's like, it's not as offensive in my head.
nigga?
No,
Oh, the hard R.
no,
Oh, the F word.
yes.
Oh, okay.
I just hate calling it the F word because I think of the F word, I think of
If
fuck.
you say that, like this is what I don't like. There is a pyramid of bad words, and the N word with the hard R is always on top.
Yeah, if
and
people-
you can and no other word is consistently referred to as the blank word because you're just like, just fucking say it, pussy. Like the N word is the only one that gets the
Special
the
treatment.
letter word treatment.
Yeah.
Like if I remember, it was something along the lines of like, "Is cracker as bad as the N word?" And it's like you have to call one the N word, and you can say the other one.
Then no.
and that answers your question.
It's not as bad. Nowhere near.
One of the things that there was like a comedy part, I think it was Chris D'Elia said, if you're on a like news channel and you're saying the N-word, he's like, don't fucking put that in my head and make me say it. He's like, just fucking say it, you pussy.
Wait, which comedian got the whole crowd to say it? Oh,
it was Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham.
He was like, all right, we're gonna start listing off like
I know
like
what
whatever.
you're
He's like,
talking about.
if I say Barba, you say Q, and he's like, if I say Nacho, you say cheese. He's like, all right, now I say salt and vit, and they're like, and then he turned the lights on. He was like, woo! And he's like, we got him. You said it.
You said it. You said it. That shit was funny.
That was really good.
He's
Yeah.
a genius.
Yeah, so that's
That shit was funny.
that's really good. But shit, what was the point? Oh yeah, when Dave Chappelle dropped the F word the first time and he screamed it. The way my brother laughed, the way Patrick laughed, I haven't seen him laugh that hard in a long time. He took a bite of his burrito and food was falling out of his mouth.
Fuck.
He was laughing so hard.
Nice.
That fucking special is so goddamn good, dude.
Yeah, like I truly think if people want to get rid of bad words being bad,
Don't make it bad.
say them.
Yeah.
You want bad words to stop being bad, then normalize them and they will stop being bad.
See, check this, right? Fat people, okay, are supposed to be becoming more accepted as being fat in society. And now, if you call somebody fat, they're like, yep, I am fat. I embrace it. Okay. Now, I'm not saying for black people to be embraced. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like there's like somewhere in there is if like you get called the N-word, just
be like, okay.
yeah,
Like,
like, don't say like, yeah, I am, because don't do
No.
that. But just be like, yeah.
Get an F in the chat.
Massive L. I need a rip on the community, bro. Oh my goodness.
I get what you're saying. It's more of not
The
saying
words
that you
have
are.
the power that you allow them
Yeah.
to have.
You just
for sure.
accept it. Like, okay, that has nothing to do with me. Like it's
for
one of
instance-
those.
For instance, like the word fag, the one that we were trying to avoid.
Yeah.
If you treat it like the word that you're not allowed to say and no one wants to say it, when someone does say it, then it's like, oh, fuck, you said it. Oh, it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
But if everyone's just like, oh, yeah, like when Dave Chappelle said fag, like everyone was cracking up, it's way less of a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
because-
why am I tripping? Dave Chappelle said faggot.
Yeah. And so like you say the word, and the more people say it in a comedic sense and in a like sense of like quoting, whether that be like literature or music or whatever, as long as you can allow people to say the word and you as an individual can be smart enough to distinguish between like the contexts of the word will lose its like radiation that it gives off whenever it's spoken.
It's like bitch. Bitch
Yeah,
used to be a really bad word at one point.
It
Now
used
it's
to
like
literally not be allowed on TV.
it's like
Yeah.
sup bitch.
Now son of a bitch is used in shows and TV, and it can like
Yeah.
not be
They
a big
haven't
deal.
bleep it out.
Yeah, they don't even bleep it out.
The
And
only-
it's the same thing with the word retarded. I hate that people are trying to turn it into the R word. Like
That's
you
not
are
a thing.
you are not doing any good by like trying to limit what other people can say and making this word like super fucking bad. You can tell when someone is trying to be disrespectful to mentally disabled people when they use the word retarded. You can also tell when they're using the word retarded in a sense that has nothing to do with people who are genuinely retarded. It's the same thing with the word lame. The word lame comes from people who are physically retarded. And if you call something lame, nobody trips over it. But
That's actually a really good point.
But if as soon as the softie community finds out that lame comes from the term of physical ailments, oh, they're gonna have a field day. How dare you call someone lame? How do you think that makes them feel? How do you make? No, they don't give a shit. I guarantee you could find some military amputee, and if you called him lame, then he's like, okay, lame what? He won't even give a fuck.
Yeah.
Even though he,
He
probably
won't-
knows.
He maybe.
Well, even if he does know that the word lame originates from that, it's like you have to be able to be fucking smart enough and use common sense to distinguish when the word is like genuinely being used to like sabotage somebody and then being used as a slang word.
Now, the only other word that I personally feel that is worse or just as bad as the hard R
Is snatch.
oh my goodness, you did it, you son of a bitch.
Not twat.
Oh my goodness, you okay? All right, no, it's nigger. Like that, it's the same thing as the hard R, but it's that word comes from like
I've never even heard that.
that's because you don't have black grandparents that grew up during segregation. If I got
Weird.
called a nigger, I'm like, oh shit, they might kill me. Like, cause
Like that's old.
yeah, it's an old word. Like
Like if you're still using that, you don't like black people.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so
if
you can tell if someone uses that word, unless they are a genius comic, they are using it
Man,
for blood.
Because if I hear like a old white person say like the hard R's, okay, like they're a boomer. Boomer's mad, right?
Boomers.
If I hear them say nigger, I am leaving the building. I could be at the movies, the grocery store, the bank. The bank. If I hear nigger, oh man, it's looking bad for me, Chief. It's not good.
That's crazy. I don't think I've
That
I
one's really bad,
That's
bro.
that
Like,
sounds
that one's-
like that just sounds like you have some deep rooted fucking
like you know the meme
backgrounds.
of the white dude with the water hose saying "Go be a somewhere else." That's the huh?
Oh my god!
Have you seen that meme? It's hilarious.
No.
You haven't? I have it saved in my phone. It's so funny. It's this white dude. It's a little black kid. He has his water hose and it's captioned "Go be an N-word somewhere else," and it's so funny. But it like that context of like "Go be a nigger somewhere else." Oh boy, if you like weren't opposed to the March on Washington, like you were probably a cop when MLK marched on Selma. You probably
you're anti Bernie Sanders,
bro.
You're
You
his
probably
arch nemesis.
you probably turned on water hoses on black people in the South back in the day. If you use the word nigger, like that's how bad it is.
That reminds me of you remember that tweet where like there was this like super old white Trump supporter boomer guy, and he was like tweeting some super Republican hardcore shit, and some like black woman came to defend him. You remember what he said? And
he said
she was like, no, like let him talk. He's making a lot of sense. Blah blah blah. This like black woman's defending him, and
he said, "Thank you, niggers."
As if he puts an ESS at him at the end. It's like some formal feminine pronoun.
Thank you, nigger.
like
Dude, I saw that shit and I was like, this fool genuinely probably thinks that's like a good greeting.
oh, that's so
Either
fucking
that
bad.
or that was like a troll page. Like
yeah,
that shit was funny.
Oh,
Because
my
at first I
God.
was like, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, I know exactly what he's talking about. That shit's hilarious.
Oh god. And see, like that perfect example of being able to go, okay, that shit's funny. And if he's racist, then he sucks. But like, don't give him any time of day.
Right. You know what else happened? Yahoo made a typo.
Oh my god!
Yahoo News made a typo on their Twitter page.
They wanted to say. They were trying to say that like the U.S. like needs like a bigger navy.
Yeah, and instead of saying bigger, they said it was the. I'm saying it. Because this is too fucking funny. I'm saying it. They called it the nigger navy.
And that shit
Black
not
Twitter
kidding
had
you.
a fucking field day. Some of the
It had a
best
field day
tweets.
so much that Twitter had to stop it from trending.
Yeah. Some of the best tweets that come out of Black Twitter came during the nigger navy. That shit was
It was
hilarious.
so fucking funny, dude.
You know, so obviously, like Black Twitter is just like the black community on Twitter.
Yeah.
But why is it like? Why does it have its own section of like almost as if it has its own app?
Because
The way it's talked about,
I
I just don't understand it. Is mostly what I'm getting at.
Oh.
I just heard it a couple times and then obviously just adjusted to it. But I was like, where did this come from?
There's also, I would say, there's a Latino Twitter. There's a lot of tweets that go viral.
But
that
you
are
don't
in
hear
Spanish.
anything other than like you
Well,
hear
Black
Twitter
Twitter-
and Black Twitter.
Black Twitter is much more predominant, but that's, I would just say, because of how active and like population wise, how significant Black Twitter is on Twitter. Like if there happened to be a shit ton of Asian users on Twitter, then Asian Twitter would probably be the Black Twitter in our universe. But it's, in my theory on it, and then you can give Joel, you can give your like theory on it too. My theory on it is when you have a group of people who identify by a certain thing, they tend to stick together and support each other or interact with each other more often. And since it's so often, like you talk about black people like black people, and black people have like black culture and their own like things that people do differently in communities, it just like kind of transitions over onto Twitter. It would be like, and it would be weird because white people are the majority and have that harsh past with racism. for white people to like, if you identify as white, you all like label yourself as white and stick together with white people because you fit in that group.
That shit is apparently illegal.
You see
today.
shit like that and you're like, oh, that reeks of supremacy. But it's because of historical context. But if you had an entire group of people that all like identified under a label of purple, and then all those people would be in purple Twitter. But it's because there is a name and a label and a context, and people like
it's the same thing with K-pop Twitter, with NBA Twitter, which is toxic as fuck. MLB Twitter, which me and him are a part of, and we follow some teenagers who are they're like literal trolls, and they troll the people who follow the MLB.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing with sports. So you can
there's different subsections.
Yeah, all these subsections. Now, Black Twitter, the reason I will say why it gets like the attention it does is because there's a lot of young Black people on Twitter who are funny as fuck. They're Twitter. It's the same thing as like an Instagram model. There's a Twitter comedian. They're funny as fuck on Twitter, and then it might translate to YouTube and other social media apps, and they might get some traction from it. But for the most part, they make and post videos for Instagram, for Twitter, for YouTube, and those people start it. They make their viral tweets and they have a shit ton of followers, and then it leaks down into regular Black people who are genuinely funny or might be funny in that moment with the tweet. And the majority of the time, my timeline, which is very diverse because I follow a whole array of people, will consistently have viral tweets from Black Twitter on it just because those niggas are funny.
Yeah.
Like that's just how it is.
And also you can think of like how it would play out in the real world. Like if you live in like a predominantly Black neighborhood or Black community, and like one of your homies comes up to you and he's like, oh bro, like you need to make a Twitter. Like you got to make a Twitter. Like there's so many other Black people on there and they're funny as fuck and the shit's popping all the time. That's really convincing. If I came over to you and was like, Nick, you need to make a Twitter, there's a ton of white people on there and it's great. You see how that sounds?
You were like,
and so like I very well think that like how prominent and like original and funny Black Twitter is, it does a really good job of pulling other Black people to hop on the train of Twitter.
No, I
and
get
use it more.
how all of that works, and I get that everybody's tribal and whatnot. I just didn't know that, I just didn't know where it came from. Like it just randomly one day I was just like Black Twitter.
I think just like being like lucky enough to have like Joel as like my closest friend growing up, and like being able to walk into like a Black household and see how different it is than one, a white person may think it is, and two, just how different it is from a white household.
Yeah.
You get to see like the actual major culture differences in it. And I think that Twitter just is like a good platform for like those cultural differences to like project out, and kind of gives anybody who isn't Black like a window into it. And like Black people who always talk about like on Twitter, like, oh, we grew up the same, we had the same childhood and all this shit. And so they all know like the inside jokes, the cliches, the sayings and jargon. And white people are just now getting exposed to it. So like Black Twitter will interact with itself and can create trends and create new memes and create new jokes and crank them out. And white people are constantly like having to keep up if they have like no way to interact with anyone who's connected to Black culture.
Yeah, I get it.
So it's a good source of originality.
Like for instance, Nick, don't ever ask Black people who made the potato salad.
Why?
Because a lot of people can't make potato salad, and like at like family events and stuff, let's say your cousin or your uncle brings a new girlfriend, a new wife. She says, "Oh, I'm gonna bring potato salad." Like, oh, okay. They're gonna let her do it to be nice, but 9 times out of 10, it's just gonna be garbage. And if that shit's nasty, somebody's gonna ask, "Oh my god, who made this? This shit is nasty. It's disrespectful." So it's like a whole like just don't ask who made the potato salad.
Yeah,
unless you know that your grandma made it or your aunt made it. But if it's like somebody new, don't ask because that's just disrespectful. Yeah.
Do you think that to some degree having all these separations in people, and I'm not saying that they're separating trying to keep away from others, but like you got Black Twitter and K-pop and MLB and NBA and all these different things. Again, I understand that like the human nature is tribal and everybody likes to stick with their clans and their groups and whatnot. but that to some degree that's still just keeping separation of people. Like, everybody's talking about unity as one, but then you have all these sub areas where you're not allowed in if you're not this person or if you're not like this. You think that's a problem?
Well, I don't really think it's a problem, just because, for instance, it's not hard to get into the other subcategory. Like, if let's say you were never a football fan and I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm gonna follow the Kansas City Chiefs on Twitter. Are they gonna follow me back? No, but now I can see all the feed from the Chiefs. Now I can also see whenever they tweet other Chiefs fans. There are people who have actually. No, I'll go back to. I'll use MLB. Same as I'm a Milwaukee Brewer fan. I'll follow the Brewers Twitter. Now I can interact with other Brewers fans. I actually follow these two teenagers who live in Wisconsin who are Brewers fans who are funny as hell. They troll MLB Twitter. Now, also, there are MLB writers and people who are also passionate about baseball who might be in the comment section of the MLB page, the Milwaukee Brewer page, or whatever. For instance, there's this guy, his name is Jarrett Carabas, and he's a Boston Red Sox fan, but he writes for the whole MLB, and he's recently, since I think 1 or 2 seasons ago, has been getting more a likening to the Milwaukee Brewers, and he goes as far as interviewing the players, interviewing our head announcer, interviewing our star player. And now I am a fan of Jarrett Carabas, just because I was able to find him through MLB Twitter. Now, you could also do the same thing. You could do that for NBA if you like the Minnesota Timberwolves. I've never known anything about them, but I'm going to follow them, and now I can follow their fans and interact with other people who also like them. And now from that, I can easily branch into the toxicity that is NBA Twitter. The worst fan base.
Before you dive into that,
I'm sorry,
reel it back to the point of
oh yeah, no, it's not a problem. You could easily get into any of
So
it.
you're saying that actually using the branches can create it would cause you to create more connections.
Yes, because once you don't look at it as it's separated from each subcategory, it's now I can easily maneuver through each subcategory because I do it.
Whereas,
if a white person wanted to go into Black Twitter, they very well could.
Absolutely.
Every
and that's, I understood that part. It was more so of the whole separation of because yes, obviously anybody can just get access to Black Twitter. It's just a
I mean not just get access to
but be
the
involved
information,
in
but
it.
be a part
right,
of Black
but that's
Twitter.
what I'm saying.
You can.
And that's what I'm saying is yes, I know that you can do that, but some people, and I'm not saying myself, I'm doing this from an outside perspective, where some people would be like, oh, that culture is intimidating, I'm separated from it now, I don't associate with those types of people, whether that's an entire race of people or something that they like in general, just because they feel not intimidated, but just
unwelcomed.
Yes.
That's a thing.
And I get there's both sides of that, because that's actually a really solid point that I didn't even think about. Whereas if it was a complete open 180, you wouldn't know which direction to go. But because there's these little walls that separate, okay, you got your Black Twitter, you got your K-pop, your MLB, your NBA, all those different things, okay, I actually have an interest in these 4 categories. I can now go to that area, meet people that are okay.
It comes down to, I think, how the individual personally and sees situations and what their personal opinion is of it, because one person could very well see it as separation and see it as unwelcoming, and Joel, for instance, could see it as categorization and just intimidating.
I think it's just a matter of your point of view.
Yeah, and so if somebody wants to be a part of Asian Twitter, they very well could, and just the next time you have an Asian friend who's a part of Asian Twitter retweet one of the viral tweets, you go on there, you click on the person who made the funny tweet, you maybe follow them, or maybe follow some of the people in the comments that are adding to it, and next thing you know, their shit's on your timeline and you're interacting with it, and now you understand the Asian Twitter jokes before it gets to mainstream Twitter.
Yeah, and
now you're technically a part of it.
Twitter is a powerful place, and
it's
this is
fucking nuts.
It's weird because before you guys got over here, I hopped on Instagram and I had this notification that this chick followed me, and I click on it.
Was she hot?
She's very cute, but we had this thing.
She's not hot.
Let
the record
actually
reflect.
She's hot. I'll show you.
Let the record reflect. She is hot.
So, point being is that 3 or 4 years ago. Somehow, some way, we followed each other on Twitter. No mutuals, no nothing. And then over time, just kind of like unfollowed each other, didn't really talk. And then just years later, I get this notification. I'm just like, I met you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like I used to flirt with you. Like that was through something. I would have never met you otherwise. Like Twitter's a crazy, I still have a friend in Chicago that I have a place in Chicago I can go stay at any time if I wanted to. I have a friend in New York that I met in Washington. Like it's because of Twitter.
We met a couple
My
of
friends that I visited from Florida yesterday met me, like the girl Lauren met me through my Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy tweet.
Yeah.
And
Why were people retweeting that again the other day?
every now and then some person cops on my Twitter, sees it as my pinned tweet and is like, this is funny, and then retweets it, and then my friends see it and they're like, my account hasn't retweeted it in so long it's unretweeted, so they retweeted it again.
Yeah, I was wondering why that's a thing.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. But I think it's probably to help Twitter like kind of condense the information of the thousands and thousands of tweets every person has.
Solid point.
But like Lauren from Florida, like literally we met each other through that tweet in 2014 or whatever. She flew out here for her 19th birthday.
Yeah,
19th.
her
20th
family was
birthday?
on vacation out here.
Yeah. And she literally like flew out to LA and we hung out. She like stayed at my place. We like showed her around California a little bit, and then like 2 years later, she flies back out here again. We see her again, and her like fiance now, and I'd like show them around Malibu and everything. And it's like, you don't think about it, but literally this all happened because somebody retweeted my dumbass costume onto your timeline while you're sitting in your room by yourself looking at your screen on your phone. And fast forward a few years, and you are now hanging out with this person in California.
It's super fucking weird.
Crazy. When I was talking about British people putting on an English accent or an American accent and it sounds really funny, it's because I met them through that tweet.
Right.
And we were FaceTiming them after meeting them, like, oh my God, you're from London? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like we're from
you
like
guys
the
were
LA
talking
area.
about like pantries and shit.
Yeah. And
they
don't have pantries.
They don't have
in
pantries.
London. I don't know how much of England.
Man.
They don't have garbage disposals.
Let me say this real quick. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear nothing about how Europe is better than no damn body. You don't have a pantry in your house, bro. You don't even have cupboards. Come on now.
Cupboards.
You don't got garbage disposal. Where's the trash go?
They don't have a garbage disposal. And when we told them what a garbage disposal was, they were terrified. They're like, you're telling me you have a ton of blades that go down your sink and you can turn them on and they'll just
If you really think about
shred
that,
anything in there.
They basically live in the dark ages.
think about that one turtle's mouth.
Yeah.
That's probably what they see.
Yeah, it probably is.
Jesus
It's a
Christ, what is
leatherback
that?
turtle's mouth. No,
And
seriously.
here we are when it gets clogged up. We're just like, all right, don't hit the switch. I'm gonna stick my hand down there, and they're just like,
Yeah.
wait, you stick your fucking hand
Yeah,
down there?
sometimes you gotta pry it a little bit.
You gotta.
do a little maneuver.
Still scares the fuck out of me.
Oh, it always scares the fuck out of anybody. But like, yeah, and you don't think about how fucking weird it is. So someone from outside of it is telling you that you have knives in your sink, and I'm like, yeah, kind of.
Oh yeah,
You're
my
right.
brother's girlfriend was telling me about. She's got fuck, I can never remember what her ethnicity is in particular.
Peruvian.
Nope, it's in the Spanish field. I just don't.
Just say Hispanic and
But where her family's from, like they don't have
Electricity.
Well, electricity is here. It's kind of here or there, but it's like bathrooms and whatnot, and like showers or not showers, but like they only have like bathtubs and whatnot, depending on what parts you're from. And when they came to America, they're like, "What is this? This is what."
They found the bodega and fell in love.
Like you have air conditioning and bathrooms and a kitchen, and people don't just walk into your, like random strangers don't just kind of walk into your area of living.
whoa,
Because
No, they get shot if you do that.
because there's like locks on the doors, whereas like in some parts of the world that shit doesn't exist.
yeah, that's crazy.
The weirdest thing for me that I've seen so far in my life was when I went to Tennessee, and there are just houses plopped in grass patches, big large grass openings, and no fences. Nothing. Your back door, people can see the back of your house.
That's weird,
and you don't think about that. You think
That's neighbors.
it's super
That's
weird.
super neighbors.
And if you get a fence, you're actually looked at as,
Like
what
a
are you
dick.
hiding?
yeah,
It's like, why everybody's so
It's
open
like,
here?
I think fences look nice. They add character to the house.
I think so too, especially because, well, then again, we're used to it.
Yeah.
Whereas those people
Are not,
aren't.
yeah.
And I'm talking their barbecues are sitting outside, their bikes, their
But that's a
furni-
testament as to how close the community is. They trust each other not to
Well,
take
no,
each
it's
other's
not.
shit.
It's not even just a community. It's the whole goddamn state. I'm talking, dude. I was driving down some of the roads and acres of grassland, and then out in the fucking distance, just one house plopped, and that's their whole yard. And
That's
I'm
kind of lit.
That's
it's
insane.
beautiful looking, but it's so fucking weird, especially when because they don't have they do have housing tracks, but that's like the new thing, and people in Tennessee don't like it. They want the old way of doing it, where it's just kind of, oh, your house wants to face like northeast, cool, and this one kind of just like
West?
southeast, cool. Like you can have it face whichever and slightly crooked, you know,
That's trippy.
but it's just plopped all over, and I was like, what the fuck is this? It looks fake.
That's so weird.
And you can, I believe, you can just kind of walk around their yard if you wanted to, because it's
They're like,
open.
hey, neighbor.
Public.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is where we're used to these different things. You go to different parts of the world, especially as ones that are not in like a tier system, but things that aren't as developed.
Like a second world country or something?
Yeah. Like windows that are literally just cutouts on the wall. And
Yeah.
there's no protection. Like, what do you mean you don't have bugs that just sit on you all day, 24/7? Like,
Yeah,
it's just
dude.
so fucking
One of the
weird.
houses I grew up in looked like a fucking prison. It was
Yeah.
all white and it was barred up
I was gonna
from
say
top to bottom.
Doors, not doors. Yeah.
Okay.
But like all
Screens.
windows.
So like, I mean, it's a corner house.
I'm going to the bathroom.
It was next to an alley.
Hmm.
To even get in from one end to the other, it was a white gate. There was a gate at the end that you needed a key to open that we didn't. We only used it to take the trash out because we
Yeah.
kept the trash right there. But then there was a sliding gate where my mom parked her van. So it was like it had like a little like driveway almost. There was no garage door, but it had a sliding gate, and that's how we primarily got onto the property.
Yeah.
Then you walk up to like the little patio stairs. There's two entrances. There's one on the front that we only use to move in and out furniture,
Hmm.
and that we kept it locked. And there's a side one, which is the main big one that we use to get to the front door. So right now we're at sliding gate and then big metal white fence, and then we're at the front door.
Jesus.
Every single window in that house, front yard, backyard, bars on it. There in the backyard, my mom had a door from the outside, like heavy metal screen door on it, and then the door to her room, which was always locked.
Yeah.
Attached to that were 3 storage units that we kept stuff in.
Mhm.
All of them had like big white barred doors on them.
Yeah.
In that area, I also noticed all the stores are like that too.
Yes, there's a McDonald's that was not too far from my house. I grew. This is the house I'm talking about, guys. I grew up in LA in South Central off 90th Place and Normandy Avenue. It's one of the major streets in Los Angeles in that part of town. There's a McDonald's on Normandy, and the McDonald's had like the bank fiberglass with the little door window thingies. Like you put something in and you have to close it.
Oh, it has it's like a window and a drawer, and the
Yeah.
drawer opens on your side.
Well,
and you put your shit in, and then it opens.
Yeah,
on their
well,
side
it
for them
wasn't
to
really a
grab it.
drawer. It's more like a cube. So like the cube, you open it, you put your money in. You close it. The cashier from the other side opened their door of the cube, took your money out. They put
That's so fucking crazy.
They put your food back in the cube. They close it because the whole point you can't have both open at the same time.
That like scares you because it makes you feel like something's gonna fucking happen.
Well, they did it because the shit used to get robbed a lot. So they
Yeah,
were like,
right.
the only way we can't get robbed is if they can't shoot us.
This
So-
is how I look at things legitimately. Things are created because something has happened before.
yeah. Like you always think like, oh, what dumbass fucked up and made this rule a thing,
Right. Where it's like that place has probably been shot up so many times. Or
coincidentally, it was during the Rodney King riots. That was like one of the central locations of the rioting.
Yeah.
And so the whole area
It has to be safety.
was kind of shitty,
Yeah.
to say the least.
So if they have that, right, for the drive-through, that's for the drive-through?
Inside.
Oh, that's inside.
That was inside the McDonald's.
Oh, shit.
I believe Taco Bell was also like that, or one. I don't know. I don't remember where it was. I just know that it was a Taco Bell I grew up going to, and there was a Burger King also like that. It was inside.
Imagine how nice that's got to be for the employees, though.
Well, yeah, they don't have to worry
they don't gotta
about
trip about being held
Yeah.
at gunpoint.
Yeah, it's a little extra step. Somebody puts in their money. You open up your end. You put their food in. They take it. They leave.
It's like there's a fight happening and they just put their fucking hand on the glass and there's
Yeah,
there's
because
nothing I can do for you.
You could not get through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's fucking crazy, dude.
And then
They
there were
probably have this
small,
crazy security system to get into.
there was these small like little holes that you
Yeah.
could talk through, like they have in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or like a bank,
Yeah, when you go up to the bank and
What are you looking at? I was like, why are you looking at me like that? Have you never been to a bank?
yeah, I robbed a few.
that
Jesus.
I'm just kidding.
that like makes me think about like, so that area, right? You know, all that shit and all that crime happens out there. I would say primarily because of like just straight up the poverty. Like people rob places not because it's like fun to rob places, but rob places because you need money.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
I always wonder if you were to like pluck like one of like the young guys out of like one of those communities who is like fully intending on robbing some like gas station or liquor store, and then like throw them in like a family of like total upper class elitist people and be like, this is where you're going to live now. You have all the money, all the resources, and all the time in the world to do whatever you want with your life. What are you going to do with it now?
Now,
He's gonna rob them.
I was
Well, no, what I'm saying
No,
is
that's the point that I was gonna make.
this is now like their home, and so he sees this as like his home. This is where he lives. This is his family.
Oh, he
how
accepts
long
Yeah,
he fully accepts it?
yeah. Like under the
Okay, well
terms
then-
and conditions that like he's not going to just like think like, oh, I'm going to rob him and then just go back to where I live.
Well, no, that's what I was saying is how long has this person lived in that poverty-stricken area? Because at some point that just becomes your lifestyle that you can't change.
I agree, but like for the people that always talk about like you like do the things you do when you're in the hood because you want to get out of the hood.
Right.
So with someone with that mentality of like I just want to get out of the hood and they're only committing crime because they need money.
Yeah.
Take someone like that and then put them in the position where they have the money and they have the time and the resources and you don't have to like commit crime in order to get by. I always wonder like, okay, now what are you going to do with your life?
It's one of those things where it's like you can take the kid out the hood, but you can't take the hood out the kid kind of thing, where it's like depending upon how long it's been, if they're still a kid, if they're a teenager, or if they're an adult,
Like how deeply ingrained that is.
and how much they actually want to change versus how much do they just fuck it, this is what I'm born into,
Now, see,
born and raised.
there are rappers who make all this money, but then they're still getting arrested on gun and drug charges.
Right.
Why? Is because
That's
a
the
big-
lifestyle.
That's a good fucking
they don't know any
example.
better. It's
Yeah.
like
That's a good fucking.
like, here
it's like,
you
it's
are-
like Kodak Black will end up in jail after
6
3
weeks.
Yeah, like after 3 months of being out of jail.
yeah, it's like here you are, you make millions of dollars. Sometimes you get to go around the world because if you already have priors, then you have to have special conditions where you can leave the country, leave your state, leave your city, whatever. But here you are, you have all this money, all these cars, and you still have enough drugs on you to get charged with intent to distribute.
Yeah, you're
Like,
like
you
you're
have
still
to-
selling.
You have to have because I understand like when it comes to weed, people have a lot of weed, like and then it gets chopped up as intent to distribute as
because
to
of the
where
amount. Yeah.
Wiz Khalifa's going to smoke that shit.
Yeah, but if you
Like,
have rock on you,
yeah, if you have cocaine, or if you have like all these pills, like you don't need all those pills. Like what the fuck? What y'all doing over there?
Yeah.
But that like that's the point I was going to bring up. Like no matter what, like sometimes they still do shit even though they don't have to.
that's a fucking prime example. Though.
And then the whole thing of not letting people grow past trying to get out of that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Whereas like Wiz making those Oreo commercials, guarantee you it's Wiz, right? That was part
I
of
haven't
that.
seen it.
I
Okay,
haven't
I'm
seen
pretty
it
sure
either.
it's because he's the one that has a kid, right? That he's very vocal about, like he's
Yeah.
taking care of his. Yeah,
Him
yeah.
and
it is
Amber
him.
Rose's kid.
Yes. So he did an Oreo commercial,
Okay,
and it's just him being a dad, like normal guy,
nice.
and just hanging out. And I think he does like there's a song that plays in the background that's him rapping over it. That's about Oreos. Whatever. Dude's making fucking bank.
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee you people were thrashing him because it's just like, oh, you used to be so hood, you used to be so on the ground, and now it's just,
I can see it 50-50. I can
no,
probably
I'm not
see.
saying people did. I'm saying I
Oh.
guarantee you there are some people that probably
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Because Wiz Khalifa is more the well-liked rappers, and
Yeah.
especially it's becoming. And this is attached to something else, but it's like rappers are basically getting applauded for being a good dad.
Citizen?
Yeah,
Oh.
or no, for like Wiz Khalifa like being like active in his son's life.
yeah.
People are applauding that because for the most part, you still have rappers, but people in general
Yeah.
who aren't. And then specifically when you get to the demographic, black men
Correct.
who aren't.
I mean, there's a fucking
Yeah, the
joke.
stereotype of
the
it, yeah.
stereotype that goes
So
on.
it's kind of like you're applauding a fish for swimming, but
Yeah.
that fish didn't have fins, so now he's swimming.
Right.
But I can see Wiz
But
getting like
mostly
a lot of
what I was
support.
getting at
Yeah.
was like the people that have the hood mentality that won't let someone else get out of the hood.
Yeah.
They're
Oh
just-
yeah, it's like the
they're
crabs
just
in the barrel mentality.
yes, they're
Yeah.
just like you're
Oh,
not
shit.
you're not
Damn,
leaving.
that's-
Yeah, it's like
a
oh,
good fucking
I'm stuck
analogy.
here. Like you're trying to make it out, but I'm gonna keep you here with me
Right.
all the time for sure.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Like, and I love seeing stuff like that. Like, I think a good example of that is Snoop Dogg. Like, Snoop Dogg came straight out of like Long Beach in prime gangbang time, and is like doing, and he's on like Big Time Rush and shit. Like,
He has a cooking show with Martha Stewart.
yeah, exactly.
He has
like,
the fucking football team where he's helping kids and
He has
bad
a whole
communities.
league.
and
Yeah.
and
And
like,
they used to cheat.
Oh, league. Sorry, not at the team.
And they
Yeah.
used to cheat. Have fucking high schoolers playing against fucking 7th graders.
Yeah.
Bitch asses.
but and like 21 Savage, I over the course of his rap career, like from him just talking about like having a piece on him all the time and like fucking murking anybody who looks at him wrong.
I really
And-
beat these niggas' asses straight up.
That shit is so good.
And going from that to like seeing like all the stuff that he was starting to do with his community. I don't know where it's at now. I hope he's still doing it. But he
I'm,
was like
I'm
putting,
sure he has people.
he was putting
yeah.
money into like poverty stricken areas and helping education systems and all that stuff. And it just like it's so fucking dope to see someone who gets the opportunity to become filthy rich, and rather than like being like keeping your old ways, you turn around and try to like help more people change their ways out
Yeah.
of their community. Same thing with like Dr. Dre, him coming straight out of prime gangbanging era.
I mean, Nipsey
And-
is a prime example.
Yeah,
of,
Nipsey
like,
too. Like
people not letting him move forward. What wasn't it, or was it an argument that started that? Didn't the guy come at him because he was just fucking pissed at him?
I don't remember. I probably have to look it up.
I think
but,
it's just straight
but
like
the
hatred.
guy was supposedly a known snitch, and Nipsey was like, like you can't kick it over here. Like get out of here.
Yeah, that's but okay.
And
So
then the
that
dude
has-
went back to the car, got a gun,
Yeah.
and then what was I gonna say? Oh, are you familiar with Meek Mill?
I was gonna bring him up too.
Before you bring up Meek Mill,
Yeah.
what was the? Because I agreed with the context that you had used, but what was the comparison that you used?
So
Where-
when people want to keep everybody else stuck,
yeah,
crabs in a barrel.
crabs in a barrel.
Because
If a crab tries to climb out,
yeah, so
Uh-huh.
if you get like a bucket of crabs,
Yeah,
if one crab tries to crawl to the top to escape, the other crabs will grab them by
Really?
their legs and pull them back down.
yeah, the crabs will try to like use the other crabs
As
above
leverage,
them
yeah.
to pull themselves up, but all they do is just pull them back in the barrel.
Yeah.
interesting.
So each crab gets stuck each
Yeah.
time. So it's called the
It's-
crabs in a barrel
yeah,
mentality.
it's literally
yeah.
perfect example. Okay, Meek Mill.
Are you familiar with him?
I know him. and
Okay.
some of his
do you
music.
have Amazon Video?
No?
Okay. Anybody? I'll let you use mine. Anybody that has Amazon
So
Video,
sweet, Joel.
I'll also let you use mine. I don't know.
Okay, relax.
I don't know the login limit. I know with my Netflix, 4 people.
Hello, Joel Bond. We see that you're using 32 devices.
He has a docuseries on Amazon Video. It's included with the Amazon Prime subscription that I have, and it's about how he has been on probation for 11 years. He started on probation when he was 19. He's now 30 or 30 plus.
Yeah.
And in each episode or each time or however it does it, it'll tell you how many days he was in or has been in the justice system.
Weird.
It's
yeah, he got fucking thrown in jail just for having a gun on him.
Yeah, it's a very good docuseries.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. It's called Free Meek.
Yeah.
If you have Amazon Video, if you know somebody that has it, share it, watch it. At the end of it, which is got to the current time, he started this program called Reform, where they're going to try to like literally change the laws of the justice system to where people won't even get in the situation in the first place.
Yeah.
And now this happened recently. He partnered with Jay-Z in the NFL, and that was a whole.
That's a big partnership.
Yeah, that and people were like pissed at Jay-Z because apparently he's selling out and everything. I don't know all the details about that.
What's the partnership over? Like, what are they doing with the NFL?
It's some like type of fundraiser. It's like raise money for something. I know Meghan Trainor's involved and Meek Mill's involved, and people were like, "Why the fuck is Meghan Trainor involved in this?" But I don't know all the details about that. I would have to look up on it. But I know that people were calling Jay-Z a sellout and giving him shit for it. But the Meek Mill documentary, very good documentary.
He's now off probation, right?
I'm not sure.
Because didn't he, when I say recently, I mean in the past like 2 years, didn't he go to jail for having the gun on him?
No. His most recent time of violating his probation, he was in New York on a motorcycle or like a dirt bike doing wheelies in the street. And the charge was like an endangerment to like the community or some shit.
But didn't he got caught up with a gun at some point?
Yeah, I remember how
that might have been one of the ones before or the original case, but his most recent one, or I could have missed it.
Yeah, I'm talking within the past like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I remember.
Can you Google it real quick?
I
I could have possibly missed that one, but I do know that the last time he was locked up.
Because didn't he get locked up a couple times recently?
Yeah. Well, the most recent time I think,
besides the dirt bike, there was another time too.
Really? Because that was around the same time when everybody was on Twitter like yelling like "Free Meek" and everything. I think that was around the time of the Super Bowl as well when the Eagles had won. It was like a big deal.
This is August 27th, 2019.
Of this, okay.
It says Meek Mill pleads guilty to misdemeanor gun charge today. Won't serve any more time in prison or on probation. Ending case. And then August 27th, it says his 12-year legal case is over.
Okay, so
now, yeah, it was like a recent time. I just don't know how to exactly look it up because I'm assuming there's probably a few misdemeanor charges with guns.
I missed those then.
Yeah, it was just one that it was like recently, and I think he was in a different state and got caught up with having a gun on him, and they were just like, you
can't have one when
you've already been like, we told you no.
Yeah.
Like, fucking, why do you have one on you?
Okay.
So, and I think it was a matter of like safety, pure safety for wherever he was going, but it's just the fact of like he wasn't supposed to have it on him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I feel like the government has to take that into context. Like, if you're someone like Meek Mill who has millions of fans and tons of people who do not like him and are willing to do to him what happened to Nipsey, even though he's on probation, he should be able to have something.
Well, they're gonna be like, that's what security's for.
Yeah, but like,
but then they could also flip it around like you can't be around the weapons, which is I believe is the condition of some probation.
There has to be the condition where somebody has a celebrity status where there's a lot of people who are willing to incite violence on you, that they need some form of protection.
Yeah.
Outside of fucking security guards, like, because
well, you can have armed security.
Yeah, but like at the same time, there's still that condition of like relying your life on someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So unless you're like around security 24/7, like it's just like
when I think of armed security, I think like these guys will make sure their life gets taken.
Oh, I'm
before
sure.
Yours
Yeah,
does.
I'm sure they're professionals, but like I just find it unfair that like if the dude's been on probation for this fucking long and he's obviously living a much different life now than he was when he got the original charge, that they should be able to take that into context.
When I was talking, go ahead. No, you're good.
Okay, his judge that was handling his case was this black lady. Fucking bitch. She's top 5 dead or alive worst fucking human beings on the fucking planet.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing something about
fucking awful.
What'd she do?
She was literally locking him up and throwing him in jail every time he fucking did something
She
wrong.
would not let him up at all.
She was
like way too stern.
Like he was doing a album release tour, and he was going around city to city doing like little pop-ups, meeting with fans. One of them, I think he had like bad weather conditions, and then he didn't go to his next scheduled city, because part of his agreement was you tell the court ahead of
Where you're
time
gonna
where
be.
you're going. He didn't tell them that he was going back home to his house in Philadelphia. And she was like, how come you didn't tell me you're coming back home? He's like, well, the weather was fucked up, so we drove back home. She goes, you should have told me that I'm adding 6 months to your probation.
Yeah.
Or however long it was.
She was fucking brutal.
And it's like, damn, bitch, like, you act like you was trying to flee the country. Bro went back
Yeah.
home. Like,
Yeah.
what do you...
like back where you want him in the first
It's
place.
like, it's like he went back home where he sleeps. What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
Like, that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, this lady's a fucking hard ass on Meek. Like, it was
That's-
fucking awful.
That is something that I feel like people don't take into account. Like you and I have conversations all the time about like the judicial system and what we believe, like what biases they have and don't have, and
Yeah.
what biases like mainstream thinks they have or do have or don't have. And like I feel like people never take into account that like not all judges are the same.
Nope, at
Like
all.
you could get a judge that will let you off for something another judge would fucking let you rot for.
Mm.
Well, I'm gonna let you talk. I swear to God.
No,
When I did every 15 minutes in high school, I was one of
Oh,
the
yeah.
victims that died on impact. And
for anybody that
Yeah, give context on what.
every 15 minutes is a program that I don't know if it's just the state of California, if it's nationwide. It might be nationwide. At one point in America, the statistic was every 15 minutes a drunk driving accident happens. So high schools around America or in the state of
I
California.
think it's every 15 minutes someone dies from a drunk driving incident.
Oh,
That's
is
why,
it?
That's why someone died every 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Right,
That's
right,
cool.
right. So it's every 15 minutes, someone was dying from a drunk driving accident. And high schools do demonstrations where they do like a reenactment of the car accident. So
Yeah,
Lancaster
through-
High School,
Through everything, like the
Yeah.
accident all the way through like the
like
judicial.
the phone call and the court case, and someone
Yeah.
gets
as
arrested.
a small description, it's every 15 minutes is a 2-day program focusing on high school juniors and seniors, which challenges them to think about drinking and driving and their personal safety and the responsibility of making mature decisions.
Yeah. So I was involved in that, and
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, the drunk driver had killed 3 people on impact, and had the passenger of his car was permanently disabled from the waist down rest of their life. The judge we got gave him a life sentence per everybody he killed,
Jesus.
plus like 60 years. And we were like, why the fuck did you throw on 60 years on top of 3 life sentences?
So one of those
Like,
things.
I never understood that either.
Yeah.
What I think the understanding is
Just in
is
case
that-
you lived through 3 lives.
Well,
that
no,
60
it's
years
that
gonna
you
get
can.
'em.
You know how you get your sentence reduced depending on like good behavior and all those different things. It's
Oh.
making fucking sure that you cannot get past that. That is
That
what I'm
makes
pretty
sense.
fucking sure that's what it's for,
I never
because
thought that someone could reduce a life sentence though. I thought like life sentence, and this is not me going off any information. This is just
Correct.
like me making an assumption.
But
But I always thought if you got a life sentence,
It means you
you're
got
not
life.
you're not reducing it.
Yeah, no, that means
Like
the rest
if you
of
get
your
20
life.
years, you can
Right.
reduce 20 years. But like life sentence was the one that's just like
But-
it doesn't have a number because it's
But,
life.
but it could be like the 25 to life, which is where it started. Like you start at 25 years,
yeah.
and then it.
Well,
Yeah,
life
it's
life
everything
sentence
above that.
meaning like yes, either the end of your life or whatever they deem an X amount of years being
Yeah.
a lifespan. But again, you could have a life sentence and then fucking rules change in 10 years and they can bring it back. Well, if you have 3, they're gonna be like, oh, he fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that
we
makes
can't
sense.
reduce that past. So for anybody that doesn't know the program's like super in depth. I remember like that program very specifically like spoke different volumes to different people, especially
Dude.
when I was watching it and what they do to. So
Did they do it your junior or senior year?
I think they did it both.
they did it your senior year,
It was our fresh,
and it was our senior year
yeah,
because
They
they do
skip
it
a
every
year.
2 years.
yeah,
And they include the classes.
and we were seniors for it.
yeah.
And so what they do is they set up that accident. They get a car from like a used,
Like a junkyard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
junkyard, not a used
They get-
car dealership. They get a.
They go to Camacho Auto Sales
I'm
and get 2
talking-
cars.
talking straight up, this thing is fucking wrecked, and they put makeup on everybody, get the whole scene decked out, and then they
Fake
bring out
blood.
the whole school, and they just let everybody see what's going on.
They make it like you came across the incident, like
And
you
it
were
looks
the first on the scene.
Fucking real. Like they put
Yeah.
the spills in the street and everything, and the glass. They clean it up,
That
obviously.
fake
but-
blood is gross. Let me add, that shit is disgusting.
and it's a really fucked up scene to see. But on top of that,
It's your
they
friends.
have to warn all of the neighboring neighborhoods, like literally around that school. They have to. What they do is you have to tell your parents that this is going to happen, but they go to the victims' houses and the person who actually caused the accident, and they have a cop actually like tell you like your son or daughter died.
It's a CHP officer,
And they go, and it's as real as can be. And
yeah,
I
they
remember
reenact every detail of it.
my year, the parents that were actually being talked to about it were breaking down crying because they said it was so real that, like, to some extent, obviously they had to keep reminding themselves that their kid wasn't dead.
Yeah.
But the way that it was going about it, and the fact that they had to go to like a morgue and go look at like a body, and
Yeah.
it was like this
Yeah.
whole thing so that everybody knew the severity of it. And then at the end, once it was all done, having the pep rally, it was fucking silent when the
Well-
police officer, I don't know if you guys had the same one we
yeah,
had,
yeah, we did. I think so. Oh,
was it the lady, the short white lady,
where she showed up to an accident
and it was her son?
and it was her son
Yeah.
that was dead on scene.
Mhm.
And it was just like, dude, I remember I was like trying to hold back the tears. There were kids crying, and
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I cried.
just silence, dude.
with,
Yeah.
and it's so crazy because like it said it's a 2-day program.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like when the students, like, first of all, you go up to the scene and it's not just like, not let alone like some teenagers that have died, but it's your friends, like recognizable
Yeah.
faces that have died. On top of that, your friends don't go to school the next day.
Yeah.
Like you don't see them at school like, oh, that was crazy. Like they're gone.
Them niggas not at school.
Yeah,
So-
no, and then every 15 minutes over the intercom, they announce another student has died from a drunk accident. Another
Yes.
student has
Ooh,
died from a
that gave
drunk
me
accident.
chills.
And then they announce like, and it's not just like another student. It's like Jacob Phillips has been killed in a drunk driving incident, and then that kid leaves school and is not seen again until the event is over. And so
Right.
you watch as every 15 minutes another one of your peers is killed by a drunk driving accident and empties a desk in the
And
classroom.
the original,
And Mr. Robinson walks around as the Grim Reaper.
yes,
Yeah, the Grim Reaper. I forgot about that.
yeah, and for all the actors that are in the original accident, they get put in hotels and their phones get taken away and they're turned off. So it's
You
literally
can't even
like
talk to your
you-
friends. You can't text them
nothing.
after.
You can't call your parents.
there's
Yeah.
no communication at all.
And then on top of that, for the court case, the person who is unlucky enough for the acting role to play the drunk driver
is in jail.
well, they go to jail.
Yeah.
Like they actually go to fucking
Yeah.
jail. And then they have a court case where the parents of the kids that they killed testify against them, saying like, you killed my daughter.
Yeah,
Like, and they're like
Fuck.
crying because it's real to them.
yeah,
And you get at the end with the pep rally like a video compilation of everything that's happened, so you get to like see the court case and see the parents' reactions and everything. And then at the end of the pep rally, then your friends come back to school, and it's like your friends legitimately came back from the dead.
shit like that. Shit like that needs to happen more. Stuff where it's just like, not just this fucking don't do drugs, kids. Hugs,
Yeah.
not drugs. Fuck you. Fuck your bracelets.
I was gonna compare both of those programs because I was like the drugs, the anti-drugs push that the government did with kids in schools was one of the worst, and I would even argue like worked in
Least
reverse.
ineffective.
It,
Yeah.
like it actually like made some kids probably get interested in drugs more than like them actually wanting to do drugs, because I'll go into depth about what they did wrong with that one, but that one fucking sucked. But the every 15 minutes has been one of the most impactful programs personally I can say on my life that I have ever witnessed. I am so fucking dead serious about drunk driving.
We don't play that shit.
We don't ever let any of our friends. You've had 2 beers. You're not stepping near your car.
Yeah.
You are not, because it fucking left the mark on us, and it did its
You
job.
can watch
tenfold.
you can watch the LNHS every 15 minutes on YouTube. Just type in LNHS every 15 minutes. Catherine posted the video. It got a couple of clicks on it. You know, it's in the double digits.
I'm curious.
Yeah, go ahead.
And the double digits, like it's got 10.
No, it's got like 40K, I think.
Oh,
Oh, no
really?
shit.
I think.
Damn, that'd be cool.
Don't
if
quote
we
me.
Got 5 digits.
Don't quote me.
But yeah, no, like that was one of the ones that worked, and I don't think that one was government though. I don't know if
Is
the
that just a
government set that up.
California thing?
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if the government set that up or if that was like a private non-profit organization that funded that.
Oh well, I know
to happen.
I know the CHP is involved because when I was working at the fair at my little booth for my new job, I saw the officer that came to my house. he was like in front of my table. I stood up. I was like, "Excuse me, sir." He goes, "Hey, how you doing, buddy?" I was like, a few years ago, I was involved every 15 minutes, and you came to my house and you told my dad that I died in a drunk driving accident. He goes, "Oh, I'm glad to see you're alive still."
Yeah.
And I was like,
Oh shit!
how many views?
I clicked the video
Talk
and
to
I
me.
started playing it, and the first scene is Joel dead in a car.
Hey, yes, sir. That's your boy.
If you want to look it up, the exact words are every 15 minutes, 2015 Lancaster High School. I just searched up Lancaster High School every 15 minutes.
It popped up.
You'll see a
How many
dead.
views does it have?
You said what?
How many
I
views
said
does it
40.
have?
You said 40?
Yeah.
Try again.
156.
258.
258. Yes, sir.
1,000
Yeah.
views?
258,000 fucking
I did
views.
not know it had that many.
Yeah. Fun fact: the firefighters, because they couldn't do every possible reenactment, but they like gave like specific details. I was one of the people whose body was stuck, quote unquote, in the back seat, and they couldn't physically get my body out of the car. They use these tools called the jaws of life to rip off the roof of the car to get my body out. They dropped the roof of the car on my head. The firefighter that was closest to me, it slipped and it dropped and it hit me on the back of the head. And after everyone went back inside, he made sure I didn't have a concussion.
I did not know
He
that.
felt so bad. He was like, "Oh," and all his buddies are looking at him. They're like, "Did you drop it on him?" He goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Buddy, I know you're dead, but give me like some type of movement to let me know that you're okay."
Like, really?
Yeah.
Fucking think
And I
about if you got killed
and I
at
flinched.
that event.
Bro, that shit was heavy.
It's a fucking roof of a car.
Yeah,
I bet it is.
That shit
While
was
you were
heavy.
talking about it, I thought they were saying like in the hypothetical, while they were trying to get your body, they like further damaged your body.
Oh, no.
And
He
thing. No,
dropped
you
the-
legit got the roof of the car hit on your head.
He was moving and they were picking it up and he went, "Doop," and I was like, "Ow!" I didn't make any noise.
All the students are out there mourning your death. You're like, ah, shit.
It hits you. You're like, don't
Bro,
break character. Don't break character.
my body jolted and I was like, "That fucking hurt." And he was like, "I know you're dead, but please, like, just move." Like,
You should have fucked with them. Just like laid still, stop breathing. They start performing CPR. They're like, damn, this is
No,
really realistic.
you know what I did?
This first clip of you sitting there is just like with your mouth open and your teeth are kind of showing it and you're fucking bleeding from the forehead. It's just you're just sitting there and just you let out your last breath. And he's like, "Oh fuck."
to signal him, I can wiggle my ears.
Oh, okay.
So I wiggled my ear. He's like, "Okay, he's good."
Oh no, he's seizing.
What the fuck? Like, what kind of animal shit? Like,
And then-
give me a sign. You went,
He's a freak.
And then after we got put in the coroner's van, that they zipped us up, put us in body bags.
yeah.
That's crazy. You've been in a body
I've
bag.
been in the body
They
bag.
actually-
She didn't zip it up all the way. She zipped it enough to where we could still breathe, but I was inside the
I
body
remember
bag.
the people that they had to choose. They were like, "Do you have any problems with like claustrophobia?
Yeah.
Do you have like, if you act dead, if you're in a situation like this, are you gonna have a panic attack?" Like, they had to interview these people
Yeah.
and make sure they were fine.
Catherine got put in the ambulance.
Yeah.
She died at the hospital. Dylan's big ass body was stuck on the roof of the car. He's like, he couldn't move his leg. That shit was crazy.
And one of the huge crazy details that we didn't mention yet was that the kid who played the drunk driver, his dad was the officer that came to the scene to arrest him.
Oh, actually,
I
wait. No, they didn't tell him this. They arrested him, and when he got to the station, his dad was waiting for him.
Do you think? I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Actually,
because
both his parents are cops. His mom's a CO, and his dad is a sheriff.
do you think they did that on purpose due to the fact of that woman's story? Like the cop that actually
Maybe.
I think it had to do with that.
To
because-
not tell him on purpose.
No, to make
No,
sure
like-
that the person who caused the accident, the drunk driver, that their parents were cops or a cop.
Well, ASB selected everybody involved.
Hmm.
So I think it just lined
just
up.
coincidence.
Yeah, it was a
That,
coincidence.
that probably played a role why they selected him.
I
Yeah.
wonder if like that fucked with that officer more, like having that story be even more real.
Oh yeah, like if it hit her.
because when she was explaining it, like you could tell there were certain parts when she was getting choked up.
She
Yeah.
cried during ours.
yeah.
I think she might have. I don't remember specifically, but
But,
Jesus, man, fucking,
yeah.
that whole program
And
is so good.
I remember Joel telling me that like his dad testified against our friend who was the drunk driver in the incident, and he was telling him like, "You killed my only son." Like,
But then
Ooh, my stomach fucking
right
moved.
after that, you know what he did? He goes, after that, you know what he did? He goes, I found it in my heart to forgive you because I'm a Christian. And I was like, what? I was like, bro. I was like, you're Joel Lamont Bond the first. I'm Joel Lamont Bond the second, deceased, and you're the only Joel Lamont Bond left. And you're talking about, I forgive him. I was like, oh no, well, because
I didn't know you and your dad had the same name.
Joel Lamont Bond the second in the flesh. Dylan's dad basically condemned Anthony to death. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Paula, Catherine's mom, had a picture of Kat and her like graduation picture, looked really nice. Haley's dad, Dean, went up there with a picture. And you know, they all gave like their spills about like, I hope you rot in jail.
Yeah.
That whole thing. My dad gets up there, no like little cheat note card, no picture. And
He
was
did
like,
say that good one-liner though.
yeah, he did. And then he turned around with, I forgive you. And I was in the courtroom and I looked up and I was like, I had the Soldier Boy forgive.
My dead body just kind of my dead body looked up for a second like, what?
Forgive. But it was, but then,
I was gonna haunt him. Now I'm gonna haunt you.
but like when the judge came out, bro, that like I felt like I was on Beyond Scared Straight. That lady that gave Anthony 3 life sentences plus however many years after, I was like, I pray to God I never break the law like and have her as my judge because she will literally probably give me the death penalty. I'm getting lethal injection on the fucking spot.
There's some vicious judges out there, man.
But yeah, like that shit was like so fucking heavy, so impactful, and I am so glad that we got that. Like,
absolutely.
Like, I hope it never ends. Apparently, it's been working from what I know because it's no longer every 15 minutes.
Yeah. Actually, at the time we did it, it wasn't even every 15 minutes. Yeah.
But it was super effective. However, the one I was going to talk about, the anti-drugs campaign that they did, I think the reason that shit flopped was because they did no like justice to explaining the difference in drugs. They did this kind of like fear mongering where it was like all drugs rot your brain and melt your insides and you will OD on everything.
Yeah.
And they had, I guarantee they had a fear of telling elementary school kids that
Sorry, we're
I
gonna
got so
pause real
fucking
quick.
distracted.
Sorry.
Y'all
What
doing
ti- what
sign
time is
language.
it?
It's 9:05. You gotta go.
No, I have an hour. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we got
We're
like
good. We're chilling. But yeah, so you know, the anti-drugs campaign is you're talking to like elementary school kids, middle school kids and stuff, right?
oh
And then I don't think they want to tell the kids that, oh, some of these drugs aren't as bad for you as other drugs. Because how does that sound to the kids going like, well, these aren't as bad. These won't kill you. You can't OD from this one. That's going to make the kid curious.
yeah.
So all they did was focus on like meth and heroin and crack. And they were just like, you don't do these because this is what happens. And they'll show you like pictures or whatever. Like, oh, this person lost their teeth. This person OD'd. This is what happens when you do 15 years of meth and like your eyes bulge out and your hair falls out and all that stuff.
But if you do coke every so often, it's okay.
Yeah, but like they never they went with the motto that like don't do drugs, any of them. Don't do any drugs. And then they only showed you the bad drugs. So what that does is that implants the thought in the kid's head that okay, all drugs are bad and all drugs are going to fuck you up for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And then the kid stumbles across weed, tries weed, sees people who smoke weed every day and sees that they're not dying and goes, oh shit, this doesn't kill you. So if they were saying all drugs are bad, why is this one good? And it puts this thought in their head that the message they were sending is flawed. And so how do I trust it? How do I know that it's right? And so they didn't want to touch on weed. They didn't want to touch on like cocaine or psychedelics. They're only going to touch on like the super strong like methamphetamines and opioids. And when the kids discovered that there are drugs out there that are not harmful,
i.e. marijuana, cocaine.
Well, cocaine can be harmful.
I'm
are
sorry. I didn't mean
like.
I even said it to her. I was like, yeah, coke every once in a while is not bad.
Well, like, but when they discover that drugs are not all drugs are meth, and not all drugs affect your body like meth, then it puts this like oh, this fucking program was lying to me. This thing was bullshit. I don't like they were just trying to get me not to do any of this shit. This is stupid. And then everybody like bags on the entire program for being stupid when in reality it had some good messages about hardcore drugs, but they were terrified of being honest and saying that some drugs aren't as bad and differentiating between the ones that are not bad for you and that way and the ones that will kill you. And it ruined the credibility of the message.
I'd like to give the disclaimer that although I make my jokes about coke, I have not done coke.
I've also never played with my nose. I've never done the white girl. I've never snorted Brittany or Molly
Or Miley.
or Whitney.
In like 7th grade, I snorted Lucas out of a dare.
Okie dokie.
That was probably the-
You know, you're kind of weirder than someone who's done coke.
Yeah,
Was it
didn't feel very
was it
good.
the orange Lucas in the blue bottle or the
Yeah,
red? Okay.
Yeah.
That was
That
good
shit
shit.
It burned like a motherfucker.
That was good
Yeah,
I
shit.
thought
that's
I
a-
was gonna die.
That's
Yeah.
kind of crack.
Yeah, no, it did fucking. I was like, whoa.
You like finished all my homework for the week that day.
Can you Google what schedule of drug marijuana is?
It's Schedule 1, right?
Too high. That's I think I do think it's.
I think it's
I
schedule-
want to confirm it.
Yeah, like
I don't think schedule's the right word.
It is
Schedule 1
They,
drug.
they classify drugs in different schedules. Like cocaine is a Schedule 1 drug.
no, cocaine isn't Schedule 1.
It's not. What is it? Are you serious? Oh, can we look at that
I
one
remember
too?
looking this up. Cocaine is ranked lower. I think meth is ranked lower than weed. I think like it's heroin and weed and some other shit. And I think like ecstasy or some shit, MDMA. And then like Schedule 2 has coke in it.
Schedule 1 drugs, substances, or chemicals are defined. Blah 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 blah. What? Oh, okay. Schedule 1 drugs, substances, and chemicals are defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use and a high potential for abuse. Some examples for Schedule 1 drugs are heroin, lysergic acid. Okay, LSD. I was like, I've never seen LSD fucking spelled out. So heroin, LSD, marijuana.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Cap.
Schedule 1.
Ecstasy, methaqualone, I think, and then and peyote.
Now read Schedule 2 drugs.
Schedule 2 drugs, substances, or chemicals are defined as drugs with a high potential for abuse, with use potentially leading to severe psychological or physical dependence. These drugs are also considered dangerous. Some examples of those drugs are combination products with less than 15 milligrams of hydrocodone per dosage unit, so Vicodin, cocaine.
Ranked lower than weed.
Weird.
See,
Yup.
and here's the thing, and
Methamphetamine,
Meth.
yeah,
Schedule
So,
2.
methadone,
another amphetamine.
Mm-hmm.
diluted. I've never
Not see.
Demerol, Oxycontin
is
Yeah.
Schedule 2.
Fentanyl is fucking
Schedule 2.
2.
Yeah.
Yes. The
And that-
fucking
and-
ranking system the government has for drugs is so fucking ridiculous.
Either dexedrine or dexedrine. I can't. And then Adderall and Ritalin. What are Schedule 3?
Now see, I think this goes back
Schedule
to.
3 is like fucking.
Oh my God. Schedule 3.
Oh, read these.
Tylenol with codeine, ketamine, anabolic steroids, and testosterone.
Take a couple of those.
And then Schedule 4 are Xanax.
What?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Xanax is way more
Soma,
harmful than weed.
Darvon, Darfaucet, Valium's fucking Schedule 4.
Wow.
Ativan, Talwin?
I haven't heard Norcos yet. What?
Ambien is actually on that list of Schedule 4.
I heard that shit makes you high as a fucking
What?
kite.
Ambien?
Ambien.
Ambien will make you fucking tweet things like going to Africa, like that
Oh,
one woman
yeah.
talking about something with monkeys in Africa and whatnot. And
That
I
one
was
reporter.
like, yo, you need to fucking not do that ever again.
I was
yeah.
on a Schedule 4 drug. What can you blame me?
Yeah, I heard
Roseanne?
Ambien makes you see like ultraviolet colors.
Roseanne, well, it's because Ambien and
Alcohol. Mixed
mixture
together.
is
Okay.
bad.
Bad.
Ambien still is terrible
Oh, yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Schedule 5 would be cough preparations with less than 200 milligrams of codeine or 100 milliliters of Robitussin. Robitussin's on the fucking...
It's a drug.
Hell yeah, that's in lean.
Yeah, but after Schedule 5, there's nothing else. But what about like all the over-the-counter drugs? What are those schedules?
Those are legal.
Those are also FDA approved.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Schedule 5 drugs, substances, chemicals, defined as drugs with lower potential for abuse than Schedule 4, and consists of preparations containing limited quantities of certain narcotics. Schedule 5 drugs are generally used for antidiarrheal, antitussive.
Granted, also,
Antitussive.
we know some drugs, like for instance, Norco, as Norco, but we may not know the chemical name for it. It could have been on the list,
Yeah.
or it could have been under the same family.
Because I took those after I had my surgery, and after I want to say the first 4 pills I took, it stopped working because I was in so much pain. Like the first 2 pills, I was like, okay, like this helped a little bit because I was also still high off my ass when I was at the hospital.
But dude, the fact that LSD and marijuana are Schedule 1 and meth is Schedule 2
Yeah.
and Xanax is Schedule 4, it has
Oh,
this
that's
shit so
crazy.
fucking twisted.
Now, I think this goes back to when the government wants to get certain groups of people in trouble. They're like, oh, you have marijuana on you. You have a Schedule 1 drug versus
You have Xanax on
you have Xanax on you. You only have a Schedule 4. It's the same thing with powder cocaine and crack cocaine.
Yeah, that's
If-
so
if-
fucking
if,
crazy.
If a black person had however many grams of crack cocaine on them, they were getting double the time as
Someone with a
with the powder.
yeah, and powder's more expensive.
You and more potent.
yeah, and
Because
so
you were snorting it, it was going to your bloodstream versus when you smoke it.
and it's more pure because it doesn't have fucking baking
Yeah.
soda in it.
Norco is a Schedule 2, but it's also made with a bunch of different other drugs
Yeah.
from different schedules. So it's it's Schedule
Yeah.
2.
And so like that is something that is like so fucking ancient that's still in play today, which blows my mind. Like I know I hate when people say this. Let me say this again. I hate when people say, "Well, it's the year 2019. We should be like this by now." People who say that, I fucking hate
I
it.
thought
But
they were going to be flying cars in 2020.
But I was going to say, we're coming up on the year 2020, and these are the drug laws still. This is still how the government
that shit needs to be
classifies them.
changed. Yeah.
It's fucking insane. Like, there are some of like the greatest minds on this planet who have done LSD or do LSD every so often, and that is, and if I hear that and I'm like, oh, okay, they do psychedelics, but then if I hear about someone who does Xanax all the time, I'm like, you're a fucking lowlife. You're going nowhere. And the fact that the government ranks those so drastically different is crazy. The fact
Yeah.
that meth is fucking lower than weed is ridiculous. It's kind of like embarrassing that we still have that in our government system.
It's pretty fucking weird. I only have to wrap up because I have a very early wake up call and I still have to bounce all this and get it uploaded and whatnot. So, you
Any
guys cool?
final thoughts?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's up?
Weed isn't bad for you.
Asterisk.
Shout out to Meek Mill. NBA Twitter is toxic as fuck.
Which you never got to touch on.
It's okay. Well, there's more episodes.
You got a
people-
nutshell?
Hmm?
You got a nutshell for that?
Oh, the people who use NBA Twitter is fucking crazy. Like
They just wish death upon people?
this, like they say the most outlandish shit. The arguments they get into are fucking ridiculous. People really call Kobe Bryant overrated. Fucking kill yourself.
You sound like you're from NBA Twitter.
Yeah.
I am from NBA Twitter. I'm fucking toxic. Okay. Shout out Future, the misogynistic king. And fuck Russ and fuck Nav. And shout out to 2 Chainz.
Full circle.
Thanks for listening to episode 41.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's good ending, Joel.
You know the vibes.
All right. We're gonna eventually figure out. So hopefully, have a schedule. We changed it to Mondays. We were like, we have more time, and literally have like panicked on the last day before it needs to come out. Of like, oh, we need a guest.
Yeah, I know. We've been doing bad about that.
We'll figure it out. Okay. Until next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Signing off.
Thank you for having me on.